This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric Nagel. Over there in the frozen tundra of Arizona is Jordan.
Hey, everybody.
And you're listening to us, watching us in some way, shape, or form. We thank you for doing that. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, that helps. If you're listening to us on demand at some other time and convenience for yourself, Apple, Spotify, those kind of places, do us a kindness. Go over there. Leave us a positive review. It does help out the program, and we will love you forever and ever. And if you want to join us live each and every week as we're doing said program, come over to our live rooms on YouTube and on Twitch, all under It's Eric Nagel. And you can come in there. We'll talk. We'll chat. No big whoop. You can throw your money around. Show us what the big shot you are and tell us where to stick it with your dollars. Jordan, how are you, my friend?
Not too bad. Just not a very eventful week this week. Big in the news, not big in my life. Just quiet and tired from being up all night playing games with you guys.
Look, that's not a problem. Let the world deal with some shit sometimes. We don't have to deal with everything all at once.
I know. Just it's nice to have a quiet week. I've got summer coming up. It's now officially May, so we have here in Arizona our summers for school start at the end of the month. So I've got another 3 weeks, and then the kids are out, and then I don't have much responsibility after that.
All right.
No more school.
No more teachers. No more books. Only Jordan's dirty looks as he screams at his kids. Get off of my Xbox account. I gave you your own. Stop playing with mine. I don't care that you mad that I got the Twitch drops and you didn't.
Right. I'm sitting a week into this vacation of theirs, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I wish school would start. Can't wait for school to start.
Thomas Tom from Alberta, our pal there, is saying, did you get a new light? You look whiter. No, that's probably illness, or just my skin. I haven't been out in the sun in a while, but I do notice that there it is. The background was seeming a little weak. I guess I had the wrong settings there. If you were listening on the radio version, it's not here on YouTube and Twitch, unfortunately. But if you're listening on the radio version, good pull, Eric. Who was Kate? Who was the Kate that they hated? We started off the show, the pre-show, with my pal Justin's band. He used to be in a band called Zebrahead. He left that and started another band called I Hate Kate, and it was based on hating an ex-girlfriend, and put out an album that had, remember when people used to do skits or little interstitials between songs?
Yeah, Eminem was like big on that.
He put voicemails off his answering machine of his ex-girlfriend screaming at him or yelling at him or cursing at him for something and telling how much she hated him, and he put that on the album. That's for some reason was a problem that he released the whole album with the band I Hate Kate and the voicemails and what have you. They changed their name to something else for a little while, and then I guess they got all the legal stuff settled, and he went right back to I Hate Kate. So good. He's in the middle of a whole plethora of different projects, but that is my pal Justin with his cover of Major Tom, Coming Home. I do love that song oh so much. All right, moving on here, seeing people pop into the live chats and stuff. Hello all, how are you? Good, we are good. All right, moving on. Jordan, how's your hockey team? No, we're not doing that bit again. That's the third week in a row.
Just throwing things.
Apparently, the hockey team here is doing very well as the Rangers have continued on into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's about as much as I know. Oh, I can tell you something good that happened this week.
This is weird. Go ahead.
We did an episode of The Consumer, which is not out yet, but it will be soon. We're still behind on the episodes. We're still catching up to real time. But on the last episode, we finally found the Dr. Pepper Creamy Coconut soda. So now I can only find the regular version, which was delicious, by the way. Right. And you'll hear it in the episode whenever that comes out, but you'll hear in my little disclaimer that it needs to be cold. It's fantastic 100%. Because when you drink it when it's room temperature, the smell is very coconutty. It feels like you're drinking Coppertone suntan lotion. So it's not for a room temperature situation. It needs to be cold. We did notice it had 65 grams of sugar in it, which is a lot. I finally found the 0 version.
I found it today too at the same time. It was so funny that you did that.
Yeah. So you sent me a photo of it in your cart at the store and like, hey, look what I found. And I just followed up with, yep, I got it too. So
yep.
Let's
good. Super, super good. I really, again, I like the strawberries and cream one that you are
okay.
On.
It's a novelty.
I think this one needs to be permanent. Like, I think this would be a perfect permanent flavor.
All right, let's let Stone Cold do his thing here.
Please bring me my next beverage.
And that is this right here. Listen to that.
Have you tried the 0 yet, or is this first time trying?
It's in my nose. The suds. Not suds, foam, whatever soda does. The bubbly. It smells exactly like the regular version.
Yeah, there's almost no distinction in the smell.
It's delicious.
It's perfect.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
This needs to be a permanent flavor.
100%.
If you can find this, it's still trickling out into stores all across the country. But if you can find this, buy it, try it. I'm going with the 0 version. It tastes exactly the same as the regular version, so why bother with that and just get the 0 version?
Now, did you have to take out a home loan to get these 12 packs? Because they are not cheap anymore. I got my 12 pack today for just above $6 at Walmart. It was marked down from $7.50. Thanks, Walmart. That's ridiculous, but I really wanted that to have at my house. Like, I was willing to pay twice what I normally would pay just to have it.
Let me see. I took a photo. Oh, I didn't think I would need this. I was going to use it for a consumer post, but since we're talking about it, I'll show it to you here. I got to crop this a little bit. Hang on.
Because right now, the sales have been atrocious. Like, they have not done anything good with 12 packs. The price on an average 12 pack is minimum $6 from what I saw at Walmart. $10 at my local Safeway per 12 pack, and it has been ridiculous.
Coca-Cola sale that's been going on right now is buy 2 get 1 free. So you're thinking, this is a fantastic deal.
Ugh.
$10 a 12 pack. That is ridiculous.
There's no reason for that.
No, a 12 pack of soda is $10. Which is, look, as shitty as that is, it has definitely helped me reduce my soda intake because there's some weeks I look at that and go, no, I'm not spending that. It's like, sale this week, 2 for $15.99. Still not a good deal. I remember back in the long ago, and by that I mean 2019, before the fixed point of the pandemic changed everything. Right. Target and other stores used to have sales. You get 4 for $12.
Yeah, it was 4 for $10 or 4 for $12, depending. Yeah, and now it's 10 for $1. I know a couple weeks back they did a buy 3 get 2, so it ended up being like $20, $15, but you got a ton of it.
$20 buy 3 get 2 for $20. That's not bad.
No,
it's not great, but it's not bad. You're getting 5 of them for $20.
Exactly. But yeah, now it's buy 2 get 1, and I'm like, just in time for this new flavor,
right?
And it makes me mad.
God, this is so good. I'm glad I bought 2 12 packs of it.
Yeah, I may have to go get another one. I already dipped into mine the second I got home. I'm like, ugh.
I did too.
In fact, I looked at my door. I looked over and I'm like, ooh, he's playing the song. Do I have time to run downstairs to grab one? So I will in segment 2. You'll be seeing me drink one because I will most likely have to go grab one.
As soon as I got home, I ripped them open and I put them in my drink fridge.
Right,
which is a fridge designated just to beverages, and threw them right in there. And it's like, get them cold because I need one for the show today.
Yeah, so, very tasty,
delicious. Bunch of stuff that happened this week. I'll touch on this real quick because I normally wouldn't care, but it had some interesting storylines that were happening. The protests that are going on in the universities around this country. It started, I mean, I guess the fixed point was Columbia University at first. Sorry, didn't want to do that on mic. But Then UCLA became a thing, and the University of Austin became a thing. And then I think it was like 2 nights ago, NBC's just running down the list. It was like 50 universities at that time that were having protests, and I believe it's up to 100 now, as 4 days have passed. Now, it's been interesting because I didn't really have any side in the Palestine-Israel thing. At first, when that attack happened, you're like, what scumbags, nuke them to the ground. Israel has a right to go after them. Then they just kept going. And I'm like, this seems a bit much, but
a little excessive.
What are we supposed to do here? And then it kept going. And I said, all right, I'm out. I'm not paying attention to this anymore. It's horrible, but what am I going to do? These things come around and it's just turned comical with these protests because you're seeing what they call encampments. It used to just be people were living on the grounds. They had sleeping bags, they had tents, they were making little fortified cities. Seems to be the thing ever since. What was the thing at what was it, Capitol Hill or something Hill in Seattle area? Remember the Chaz zone where they took over 3 blocks and cops were not allowed?
I think that was in Portland.
Okay. All right. Still Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, either way,
Still
Pacific
Oregon.
Northwest, they
and that became a thing. It's like, we need to take over an area. We need to take over a street. We are building our own society. Like, it turns into the Sims game every time. People are complaining because there's not enough entertainment, but then there's not enough power going to this thing. Oh, look, the waterworks are backed up. And now we don't have enough roads. You got to raise taxes to get roads, but now they don't want to pay taxes. And then all of a sudden an alien ship, a volcano, or a monster comes out of the sea and ruins your theme park right next to the airport that you destroyed. So it's only a little few pieces. You put a park around the airport pieces there, so it reduces the pollution. I know all the cheats for all of that stuff. Anyway,
the Chaz zone, by the way, was the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and you're right, it was in Seattle.
Okay. See, I do know something sometimes. Yay me. I'll pull an old Barry Horowitz and tap myself right on the back before I job it to Tito Santana or the Mountie or something like that. Moving on. So these protests were going on, and I'm still pretty pro-Israel on this stuff. I don't like what the government's really doing, but it's so complicated. It's not like some of these other things like Russia and Ukraine, where it's just like, I don't care about either side of that, but the government's telling me to be involved with this. I know Israelis here in the United States and over there where they live, and you feel for those people when this shit's going on. Watching these protesters, at first you're like, all right, there's the students. And then all of a sudden you started seeing some of the clips and you go, those aren't students. That guy looks too old to be a student. What's going on there? Then they took over that one building, the Hamilton building, which apparently was the site of the big protest / riot back in the late 60s for the Vietnam War, was also at that building on that campus. And they broke in, they barricaded, they were sealing off shit, they were vandalizing, they were up on the roof waving flags. Then they were sending out demands that the university needed to provide supplies and food and medications and all this stuff for them. And the university then got to the point and said, we can't allow this to happen anymore. We need to call in the police. Let's jump over to UCLA, who had this stuff going on. Acted sort of the same way, except they didn't want any police or their security division of the school on the grounds where the protests were. They wanted nobody around because the students have the right to protest and all this other nonsense. Unlike Columbia, they had their security detail around and they just didn't want NYPD on grounds unless it got to that point. UCLA had none of that. It got to the point at Columbia where they had to call in the NYPD, and because they couldn't get in through the front or the back doors, any of the designated exits for that building, they had word that a wife of a very famous terrorist was in that group in that building. So they were under the precaution that there might be booby traps or something that will trigger an explosion or something by going through the doors. They had one of those SWAT van things with a ramp on it. And they just drove perpendicular to the building and put the ramp on the second story windows. And you just saw a line of cops in riot gear and SWAT teams all around, just walking up, opening a window, and just walking in. Like the window wasn't even locked. They didn't have to smash the window. They just lifted the window and went in through the second story, started, bringing everybody out and arrest them. Now, while I was talking with Jordan, we were online playing games and stuff, but I was talking to them and said, I'm watching the live feed. I don't know if it was carried national all that night, but New York NBC was live there for like 3 hours before the 11 o'clock news came on. Just talking about, they had cameras there showing you everything that's going on. I saw more people being walked down these steps and then the cops pulling them over to the side. There's like these guardrail kind of things. Cut the zip tie and then let the people walk out freely from that side area where the steps and the gates were. And they walked off on their own. And then the cops went back up to grab more people. So I'm watching all of this, go to bed. The next morning, I had no idea a fight broke out on UCLA. So we'll get to that in a second. And the footage that was showing up online is, look at these cops that they were busting heads and mistreating people who were unarmed in these buildings. And you're just sitting there and you just want to scream. And you go, this side is telling you one thing, this side is telling you the other thing. It was obvious while watching live that this was not what these clips were portraying, right?
Right.
They were going there and they were arresting and manhandling unarmed students and unarmed protesters. Well, once it went up to the White House and they even had to issue a statement. Once you start demolishing things or vandalizing things and breaking in and entering and violence and stuff like that, your First Amendment rights are gone. They're diminished at that point because you exceeded that line of what covers you. So the fact that they broke in and barricaded the building, their rights were automatically suspended or whatever you want, however it's legally called, so that cops could go in and bring you out. You're not supposed to be there. You've damaged the property. This is not part of your rights for protesting. So you're seeing all this footage online saying, the cops went in there and just ripping people out and busting heads. Like, I'm joking about it because you see the old protesters and where they would just walk in with nightsticks and beating people and dragging them off, whatever.
Right.
This wasn't happening there.
Not at all.
Right. So, but it was over 100-something people. They said in all the papers and everything the next morning were arrested on campus as they were something involved with that building.
As of Tuesday, there was 300 total at Columbia. Just Columbia alone arrested.
Okay. So as of
Columbia
Tuesday,
and City College. So
when did they go in? That doesn't seem right because the next morning after that police action was happening, they were saying 100 people were arrested from, maybe just from the building.
Maybe they arrested an additional 100. But yeah, NYPD announced 300 arrests had taken place Tuesday at Columbia and City College, hours before LA police in riot gear swept UCLA's campus to break up the melee that happened there.
Okay. So that went on, and the footage and the stuff you were seeing online trying to show out like the NYPD was brought in almost like a military action to go in against these people who had the right. It's all bullshit. Then cut over to UCLA. I find out that something went on over there. I was not awake at the time that this happened. It was not streaming on the networks or anything while that was going on. UCLA, again, was a little different. Wanted no police presence, didn't even want their own security detail there where the protesting was going. So there's no form of safety official around. Well, apparently a fight breaks out between a pro-Israeli group going over to part of the encampment area with the pro-Palestinian group. And they start fighting, flipping over things. You've seen the video clips where they're throwing firecrackers and stuff to disperse the crowd that's over there. Look, there's one part I was laughing when the guy hucked something and a Roman candle was going off and there's just colors shooting going and I'm just it's funny. I laugh at when
colorful.
I laugh at the videos at 4th of July when people get hurt because they're fucking around with fireworks when they shouldn't. It fits that genre of me being okay laughing at it. So this is all going on. And the news speaks to people who were part of the pro-Palestinian group, and the people they were talked to just seemed very passive, very like not screaming out, whatever. And the one girl they were talking to, if you know the clip out there, it's just a girl. She has a mask on and she's wearing a white shirt, which, by the way, they love to protest, but they have the masks on because they don't want to reveal who they are. But they're so adamant about destroying and all this other bullshit, right? So this one girl, she's saying, it's like, well, look, I was there last night and we were talking and all this stuff. And he goes, and there wasn't a problem. And then these guys showed up and started, things escalated quickly. So she had no idea what was going on. And she goes, and I just don't know. And she goes, what happened? We were calling for the police. We were calling for law enforcement. They didn't come. The university did nothing. And this is unbelievable. And I'm sitting there thinking, I go, in New York, you don't want the police present, right? But the university makes the call to bring the police present because they went too far. Over here, you don't want the police present, so they don't. They don't call the cops. They don't have the LAPD. They have nobody. Stuff then happens that they weren't accounting for. And then they're screaming, why aren't the cops here? Why aren't the cops breaking this up and protecting people? You can't say, fuck the police, fuck all this shit here. We don't want anything to do with them. Fire them. Some of them were like, kill them and all that stuff. We can't have that there. And then go, we just got beat up. Why weren't you here doing your job? It was amazing. It's sort of the same thing happening at both campuses on both two different coasts with two different interactions with the police. And they're both yelling at the cops for being at fault at both times.
Yeah, see, UCLA was fine for a while. And then the campus, the college itself had to contact police because of all of the different violence that happened. And when the police got there, they didn't even intervene for almost an hour. Like they got there, got set up, and was still letting it play out. Apparently there were counter demonstrators wearing black outfits and white masks, some armed with metal pipes and sticks, repeatedly trying to breach the perimeter of the encampment while campers pushed back and several fights broke out. And this all happened Wednesday.
Right.
They made no arrests. They didn't see the need to use force. And seems like everything kind of played out and wasn't as crazy. I'm not seeing an arrest count. I know that I think with the NYPD, I think they were just trying to get them off campus. At that point, that many people trying to arrest everybody would be just a mind-numbing task. Yeah. So, get them zip tied, get them out, escort them off, set them free. It was a capture and release situation. So I don't know. And this is happening everywhere. I mean, I've got Tulane's got issues.
These were the two that started it off as far as the police involvement, because there's a third story at University of Austin, which I'll get to in a second. But like the cops respected what the university wanted in New York. And then when they were called in, came in and did their job. Yeah. The cops in LA wanted to come in. The university didn't want them there. So the cops didn't come in. And then stuff went down, and the cops weren't there yet to dismantle any of this shit. So you can't blame them for coming in to do their job, and then, or in the other situation, blame them because they're not doing their job. Like, there's a no-win situation for the cops here with this, right? They can only do what they want to do. In New York, it was under the direction of the mayor. The mayor, and not just the police chief, the mayor was involved with all of this.
Eric Adams?
Yeah. He was, sorry, for New York. I apologize. Yeah, Eric Adams, mayor of New York. He was involved. He was up there all night. He was doing hits for news and other stuff while explaining what was going on, why they were called in, what have you. I don't know who the mayor of Los Angeles is, but I didn't see any footage of that guy, gal, whatever, miscellaneous, on news hits anywhere. So I don't know what was going on in LA, other than it seems the cops did not respond to it because the university said they didn't want them on campus. So what do you do? Now, University of Austin, and then we're going to move on to fun stuff. University of Austin had stuff going on, and Texas don't fuck around, despite the fact that Austin thinks that they're their own version of California. Cops were right in there, flipping tables over, knocking down tents, and dragging people out. And done. Same thing, I guess, was it Indiana? I think was going on at the same time as Austin. The cops weren't in there too, and like, yep, we're not doing this. Clear the lawns, clear the university. You can protest over there, but you're not setting up stakes and and all this other nonsense. And then
Yeah,
after
there's
that,
stuff at like New Hampshire, Georgia. I think Tulane had issues, but nothing crazy. Arizona, of course.
I saw Wisconsin was going nuts, and then it got to the point where it's like I can't keep tabs of this anymore. The New York, LA,
like
and
I said,
Austin
Arizona,
were about.
Arizona wanted in on it, so we got our 4 protesters arrested at ASU.
Right.
U of A, I think, started up yesterday, which is as of recording Wednesday of this week. Just going through their thing. I mean, everyone's gonna be.
I put out a post saying that I think a lot of this are just students who are joining into the protest because they only have about 3 weeks left of school.
Yeah.
That they're just going to try to get out of finals on a legality. So they're just part of this thing here so they don't have to go to class and do anything else. We'll see how it goes in a few weeks. I see right here Craig Law in the chat saying in 3 weeks nobody will care about this. I kind of agree, but we're getting close to graduation time for a lot of these universities. And I know at Columbia at one point was considering if this doesn't settle down that they may have to do their ceremonies somewhere else that's not on campus. I've seen graduations for smaller colleges and stuff happening at MSG and Barclays, and they do things like that. Usually the big universities don't because they've got the room to do all of that stuff.
Well, Columbia apparently decided they're like, okay, well, as of right now, we're not going to do any on-ground campus learning.
Yeah,
we're going to finish up the rest of the semester online only.
Yeah, it's all online only. They sent a note out to all the parents of students saying, tell them to go home. This is not a safe spot for your children to be in, even though they're demonstrating their right. They were tell your children to come home. This is not the place to do this anymore. It's a whole to do.
I mean, there is something to Craig's comment about in 3 weeks, no one's going to care. The news cycle keeps throwing things out there, and then you're like, oh crap, this is it. 2 weeks ago, Iran decided to, shoot drones over at Israel. Israel stopped it. Israel retaliated. Everyone's like, oh crap, the world's going to end. And no, it didn't. Abigail came out. We all saw a movie. You know what I mean? Like our brains just are completely wired to say, oh my God, that's so crazy. And then the next thing comes up on our radar, and then it's like, let's go do that instead. So these protests are big now. We've been protesting. Everyone's been pissed off about this ever since October when all this started going down. The next big story will be next week,
right?
And then the week after, and then
Blitz Mob in the chat saying one group got spritzed with fart spray and now claims it was chemical weapon. It was a chemical weapon. The daughter of that Ilhan Omar, she's the representative from Minnesota, right?
Yeah,
right. Was looking up this here because I was trying to find if there's an actual publication talking about the fart spray. But her daughter apparently has been suspended from the college she goes to. It says, how do you say her name? Ilhan Omar? Is that
Ilhan? Yeah, Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan Omar's daughter says she's now homeless, crying poverty after her suspension from her $90,000 per year college over anti-Israel protests. So apparently they kicked her out of school because she was going too crazy with the anti-Israel protests. And this is what's interesting. So her protests were not even at her school. She was arrested at Columbia University.
Of course she was.
She goes to Bernard College, which I don't know where that is. I'm guessing Minnesota or I don't know where Bernard is. But she was arrested.
It's in New York.
It is in New York?
It's a private nonprofit. Yeah, it's a little private school.
So she got suspended from the college she attends by getting arrested in a illegal seizure of a building at a university she's not supposed to be at.
Well, I mean, I don't think they can kick her out for protesting, but if she was arrested for trespassing, then they may have some kind of morality clause within their college, because it is a private college. It's a women's liberal arts college in Manhattan. So.
She's 21, and a handful of other Bernard students were slapped with suspensions after they were among more than 100 protesters that were cuffed and hauled away by the NYPD for refusing to clear out from the encampment on the Ivy League school's campus last Thursday. So she got arrested for being in the protest in the encampment, and then her school which is not affiliated with Columbia,
Right.
suspended her and all the other students from her school that went over there to cause problems.
Like, I'm wondering, okay, so, obviously the right to protest is a right here in this country, but at some point, if you're protesting on private property like a university, that kind of almost trumps your right to protest, right? So, go ahead and protest, but where you're protesting is where
it's just
that
like the
becomes
people.
an
It's
issue.
like I have a right. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I apologize.
No, you're good.
It's like we'd say I have a right to free speech. I could say what I want. You can, but
No, you
not
can't.
on these social media platforms because they're private companies that are allowing you on their platform. It just means you don't go to jail. It doesn't mean that you get to stay on this platform and say whatever the hell you want when it's against their guidelines. Now, are these companies right or wrong? It depends on the situation. A lot of times they're not right, but it's the you don't own the company. You
Right.
don't own a percentage in the company. They do, so they can kick you off their platform if they want to. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. Listen to this. They talked to her. She says, I was a little... so when she was suspended from her school, I was a little bit frantic, like, where am I going to sleep? Where am I going to go? She only spoke to Teen Vogue. She wouldn't speak to the other news outlets. So
Notable news outlet, Teen Vogue and
So-
Tiger Beat.
And this is from the AP. Where am I going to go? She whined to Teen Vogue after learning she'd been evicted from the campus housing and banned from the dining hall. All of my shit was thrown into a random lot. It's pretty horrible. I have like 4 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, she complained. I don't know when I can go home. I don't know if I will ever be able to. So if this is true, she's saying the university went in and just gutted their rooms and threw all their shit out in the parking lot.
Now, according to Lucy, this is actually being reported to by Highlights magazine.
These two guys strong-armed me, Gallus and Goofus, came in and then dragged me out with their triangle and circle hands and threw me out on the lawn.
My room was locked by a word search that I couldn't complete.
And I woke up, I was kind of knocked out. I'm like, what timber toe is this? I don't know where I was, the time, the clock. I can figure this out.
I was looking at my pile of stuff and had to find 5 things wrong since the last time I saw it.
There's
the
my
worst.
face right there next to 5 different Corys.
Teen
I felt so
Vogue?
embarrassed. It's explaining who her mother is. She works in Congress, blah, blah, blah.
That's just hilarious.
Yeah.
That's the one outlet she decided to speak to. Not CNN, not Fox News, Teen Vogue.
I guess is Omar under investigation for how it was revealed earlier that Omar funneled nearly $2.8 million to her husband's political consulting company over a 1.5-year period. Wow. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't know anything
It's
about
not
that.
even saying alleged. It said it was revealed. So that means they found paperwork or it was proven. Nothing about the fart spray. I was skimming through this hoping to find something because
That's
that
a
would have been
bummer.
hilarious. But that's interesting sidebar too. Now we know a celebrity that was kicked out during all this. It's not Jane Fonda's grandkid. It's
Right.
the grandkid of a politician that many people disapprove of. Still famous, still a name, enough to get TMZ involved, I guess. Or maybe not, because I didn't see it on TMZ.
I don't know.
But
We'll see.
protests
I
are
mean,
happening.
when this started happening, you had a lot of these celebrities coming out and taking sides on, their various social medias, people getting banned from movies, that Melissa Barrera chick completely getting kicked out of the Scream franchise, even though they
Which,
built
by the way, I saw an article saying she'd be willing to go back for the next one.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like, it's not up to you.
Why not?
I'd
She was
go
in
back.
She was in Abigail. She was fine. Everything's fine.
I'd
She made
take
some
my
money
job
there.
back at SiriusXM for the paycheck they were giving me. I might
Right.
consider it.
Sure.
Not up to me, but I would definitely go back, wouldn't I?
She'd be like, yeah, I'd be willing to take a paycheck to go back to this movie I shouldn't have been fired from to begin with. Why
Yeah.
not?
Why not?
Whatever.
So protests are happening, all kinds of craziness. I'm going to send over. They're asking for supplies. We got their list of what their demands are, what they're looking for. Supplies.
This list. So
I'm going to send over some cases of creamy coconut Dr. Pepper because it seems to be the right thing to do.
Right.
We did. You, me, and Hollywood agent Rob Stark were laughing at the list that was handed. Was this handed to UCLA or to Columbia? I forget which one. It was handed to one of them. Now, this list is what they were handing out to people just, passing by, like flyers saying, help the cause, donate supplies to us. So they gave the same list to the whatever university. Forgive me if it was one of the two. Let me read some of the things that are on this list. You can find
a very telling list.
You can go and Google it and look for Palestinian protester supply list or something like that. What are urgent? They need headlamps, airsoft goggles, gas masks, and respirators, especially for our medics. What medics? What medics are in there? If you're of college age protesting, you're not legally qualified to be a doctor yet until you leave there and then go to medical school and get your MD, PhD. None of you are medics. They're sitting there with berries and leaves, fucking Band-Aids.
Avocado toast to get the fats.
Skater helmets, shields, wood for barriers, knee and elbow pads, rain ponchos, canopies, utility gloves. Important.
No, it was canapes. They're very.
Oh, it was cantaloupes. I apologize. User gloves, important, without reinforced knuckles of various sizes, especially for small hands. Now, we had to look that up. It's like, why don't you want the reinforced knuckles? Apparently, it can be considered a weapon. Almost like having brass knuckles or something. So they can't be reinforced. They're smart like that. Super bright flashlights with strobe capability and fully charged.
That way they can protest with strobe lights.
Right. Or interpretive dance.
Right.
Umbrellas.
Everything looks slower.
Medical requirements. EpiPens, non-steroid inhalers, headlamps, again, and then organizational bins. This is like war triage.
Yeah.
That they think they're going to...
It's MASH.
The UN is going to drop off supplies and human relief. So dumb. All right, here's the food. Now, this one's very important because it's all in capitals with multiple exclamation points.
Right.
Hot food for lunch with more exclamation points.
Important. Capped. It's very important that we get a hot meal.
Because we're tired of those Hungry Man Swanson dinners and the Elio's pizza bricks that they keep giving to us. We have no way to cook this stuff.
This Totino's pizza is frozen solid.
Yeah.
I can't eat this.
So it needs to be hot food for lunch. Also required, vegan food, gluten-free food. We need these options. Ice, bags of ice.
Here's where the list goes off the rails for me.
Here's where it goes. Here's what we do not want. No packaged food. I don't understand what that means. In most human relief efforts, everything's packaged so it doesn't spoil or dehydrated or meals ready to eat in that capacity.
Maybe they don't want like canned goods, like things like that, where you have to have something else to open it and things like, I don't know.
Because they're cavemen times going on here. They can't
rocks
open
and sticks.
Let's just throw handfuls of noodles and green beans. Anything that we don't put in a container, we just huck it over their tent wall.
It's the same crap we gave our kids to donate to their class canned food drives. Be like, here's the garbanzo beans I never ate.
Yeah,
here's
all
the canned
but
corn.
we don't even give the plastic bags that they're in. We cut them open and we huck them over so they explode everywhere. You said you don't want anything packaged. We're responding to your demands. No coffee. I don't understand why coffee is an issue.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
It's a
maybe
diuretic.
It's a bathroom issue. Yeah, maybe it's the lack of real facilities that, the diuretic would come through and create a worse issue.
I don't know why this is funny, but I just saw this in chat, Lucy Moody. Here's a cabbage, asshole.
It's not packaged, just throwing fruit and vegetables.
God, that might be the show title. Here's a cabbage.
Asshole.
Asshole.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
No sausage either.
Call me sir, goddammit. Rooney, you're an asshole. All I do. I can't wait to see the episode 467. Here's a cabbage,
asshole.
Good for you, Lucy
funny.
Moody. I appreciate that. All food must be sustainable and organic. Yeah. Because nothing can have preservatives because you're going to be there for a while, right? You're planning for a long-term commitment. Why not have something that has preservatives in it so it doesn't spoil? No, we have to be super conscious and aware of everybody's dietary needs. Do you think Palestinians, and I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the people in charge in Palestine, give a fuck if you can eat bread or not? No, not at all. I want to make a quick sidebar before we get to the rest of this list. So did you see there was a comment that came out from Hamas about transgender people?
No.
They said they throw that you can't be. It was, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like you can't be transgender in Palestine. They throw them off of buildings.
Yeah.
Right? Alex Stein, primetime Alex Stein, goes to the University of Austin. There's a video clip, you can watch it. And he's talking to them, and he's pretending that he's from Gays for Palestine Facebook group. And that's how he introduces himself.
Palestine.
He's like, I'm from the Gays for Palestine Facebook group, and nobody there is believing him. And the group he's talking to are all transgender. And he's asking them serious questions. And he goes, isn't it a problem that if you were in Palestine, they would treat you so bad, they would throw you off a building? And they're punching him. They're trying to smack the camera out of his hand. They're saying he's not allowed to be here. He has to leave, all this stuff. But it's a valid question. I know he's doing it to entice for a video.
Right.
But remove all that. It's a valid question.
It is.
When this all started, and I saw back on 42nd, 43rd Street in Times Square, back in, what was it, October when those attacks happened? And in Israel for that concert, right? It was October?
Yeah.
And then, like, after a week of retaliation, there was all this pro-Palestine stuff started up. It wasn't long after the initial attack where the pro-Palestine stuff was happening. And there was a giant group out there with banners saying Queers for Palestine. And even then, it was just like, they're very specific when it comes to those things. Why would you be labeling yourself that? Like, if you're going to be pro-Palestine or pro-whatever you're doing, that's fine. But if you're hereditary, no, not hereditary. If you're heritage, your people don't put up with that. It's not like being intolerated in the United States. It's like illegal.
Yeah.
Why would you? Whatever. You can do whatever you want in this country. I know that.
Oh,
but it just seems weird.
It's an ironic name for a group to support, since that most of the LGBTQ community in Palestine actually have to seek asylum in Israel because they're more pro than against. So
it's maddening trying to figure this out. Every time I try to, I just like I got to stop. I'm going too far down this rabbit hole here. I need to pull myself back up and go play a game. Do something fun. Continue watching X-Men 97. Finishing the list here of the demands. So we said no packaged foods and no coffee. No bananas. I don't understand that.
I think, it comes down to the coffee bit. I think that's
Do bananas make you go? Are they keeping you regular? Am I not aware of this? Should I be eating more bananas?
A lot of fiber in bananas, maybe. High sugar makes you logy.
Are they throwing bananas at the transgender people and they're taking it as some sort of symbolism? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I have no idea why no bananas is on this list. Now, the final thing that they refuse to take.
This is the most telling.
Is hilarious. Craig Law. Goddamn potassium.
What do you mean K?
Oh, sorry. Second to last, but is no nuts.
Right.
So
well, you get nut allergies.
Yes, because they're so concerned with gluten-free food and vegan. Okay, I guess. The final listing is no bagels. A bit on the nose, but yes, no bagels.
Whoa.
Also on the nose.
No more stereotypes here, Eric. Come on.
But we're sitting there laughing. That's something like a late-night television show would write.
This is the point of the list where Hollywood agent Rob Stark started getting really upset.
Yeah, and rightfully
What do you mean no bagels?
I'd be going out there and doing ring toss. I'd be hucking them over the tent walls. Why wouldn't you?
They're hot foods I'll be bringing for lunch. Freshly cooked bagel bites.
Yeah, toast them up.
Like, there you go.
Toast them up. They'll fly faster when you huck them like you're skipping a stone on a river. Just sketch them across the tents and just hitting random people like a carnival game. If you're out there and you're near these things, consider grabbing bagels and not like a weapon, just like a ring toss. Gently toss them into the air and see where it lands in the encampment. You're doing your part.
It's so telling that, you want to be tolerant. You're trying to put out there that, we're against Israel's government's policies and how things have been. I'm sure the people are great, but no bagels, because, it would be like if this said on this, we want hot foods except for soup,
right?
Matzo ball soup. It's like, you can eat a bagel and still, be for Palestine. Like, you're not instantly Jewish.
I'm liking this here because people are realizing that is like a Letterman punchline for the bagels. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Rob didn't think I was serious. I go, no, it's on the list. You can go online and find it. No bagels in big capital letters.
No bagels.
But Lucy Moody's also saying, what about how do you say a bialy? It's the Polish. It's like the Polish version of a bagel.
Yeah, I think it's a bialy.
Bialy. All right. That's not on the list, so go ahead. Blitz Mob saying, what about a squiggle? Yeah, the square bagels. That's on the list. Not on the list. Have at it. Fill their bins up.
God, I just, again, after we started talking about this, then I started thinking, God, I could go for a salt bagel right now.
Yeah. Salt bagel, an everything bagel. Hell, even a cinnamon and raisin bagel would be good. All of that. Rob is furious that I can't pronounce that word. I am turning on him now. Okay.
Well, he's pro-Palestine.
Yeah, it is.
He's lucky he got bagel out of his mouth.
He's the only agent in Hollywood that's going the other direction because he thinks he can capitalize on something. He also said, Rob saying, I figured out the problem with bagels. When the first Spider-Verse movie came out, these protesters were tweens, and they say a bagel used violently and turned someone into a supervillain. Maybe. Quite possible. There's multiverse. It could be a storyline in a different universe.
He's got a bagel. Get him.
So dumb. So dumb.
It's so stupid.
All right. That's enough with the protest stuff. Let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted. This week in disasters, it's been an active weather week. Lots of tornadoes have been being felt through the heartland of these United States.
Yep, Universal Pictures is going hard in the paint to promote Twisters coming out this summer.
This is unfortunate because if this whole thing keeps happening in real life, Twister 2 is going to come out. It's going to tank because people go, this is...
You're like,
real
look,
life
we
is
saw
way
it
much
out my window.
Yeah, is way more believable than this nonsense that you guys. Remember that one video we saw where this truck is going full speed and then slows down, and another truck zoom past them to go into the tornado.
Yeah, they're going toward the tornado.
Hits the brake. Yeah, they're just going back and forth like this on the highway, trying to get. It seemed like something from Twister 2. It looked that stupid, and then the cow goes flying by, as it always does. At one point, one day, was it over the weekend? They had 128 confirmed tornadoes.
Yeah. In the month of April, they confirmed 343 hit the U.S., twice the national average of that month during what's called tornado season. Right now, as of the beginning of the year, we've only had about 500. So in April alone, only. Yeah. But 343 hitting states like Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, I think some in Texas. They're hitting what's called Tornado Alley.
Yep.
There was some hitting the area of Joplin, Missouri, site of one of the biggest disasters. I think it was like 6, maybe 10 years ago. Joplin, Missouri got hit real hard with some, almost leveled the city, which I've been to Joplin.
That was the one we watched the footage where they were live on the news and it took out the broadcasting tower. Is that the one?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been busy. April was a busy month already. And most of that hit, I think, the last 2 weeks.
We've got some footage here. Which one do you want to? It's the two links.
Both of them have different footage, I believe. The YouTube link has a good amount, and then the first link also has various shots.
People, stop with the vertical. Let's go with the NBC footage that we have here first. This is in Westmoreland, Kansas. Authorities confirmed that at least one person had died when a tornado barreled through Westmoreland, Kansas. The storm also destroyed almost 24 homes. It was one of 13 tornadoes reported during the night in that area alone. 13 tornadoes. Millions were at risk for new severe storms in the central and southern plains. If I can find that news footage where Lester Holt's talking to Al Roker and he goes, "Yeah, there's a lot of tornadoes," and you just saw the line,
see it right, yeah,
going right up through what's straight up Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Montana,
Kansas,
something like that. Yeah, that whole line there. It's just
Missouri.
Holy shit. Here we go. Let's take a look at this and get this going.
Tonight, marking 7
I think
straight.
one of the big spots hit in Oklahoma was the distribution center for like the Dollar Tree. So like just completely wiped it out.
Yeah. There was one town, I want to say it was called Sulphur, I think it was called. And they had these old buildings from the late 1800s that have stood the test of time until this tornado hit and just demolished them. Like they were gone. All right, let's take a look at it here.
Tonight, marking 7 straight days of reported tornadoes decimating America's heartland, with one late today appearing to touch down in Texas.
Oh my God, it's blowing people's houses away!
Meanwhile, new images.
No shit.
I love the dialogue. People feel the need to describe shit as it's happening. You're not broadcasting.
It's a tornado, lady.
Yeah, it's not like you're sitting there. It's not. Look, the guy who watched the Hindenburg burst into flames and collapse, there was no visual medium at the time. So, yes, he needs to be doing play-by-play as it's happening.
To do that, right?
Yeah, it's
no.
Like, oh, the humanity. It's somewhere in, I forgot where in Jersey it was. I should go down there. It's not that far.
I was going to say it shouldn't be too far from.
Should go and see the field of where it crashed, and like this is the memorial. It's like it's just a field with a plaque. It's nothing.
I was going to say there's a McDonald's.
But
right
when
next
you sit
to
there watching it, let the video speak for itself.
Storms overnight with twisters tearing across Kansas. And hail
Crazy.
hammering Missouri, leaving a patchwork trail of destruction that continues to grow.
Look at all that.
Robin Knobloch's home survived, but her niece's house was heavily damaged.
Famous saying of the freight train, you could hear it in the wind. It was very loud. I fully expected our house to be gone the way it sounded.
13 tornadoes were reported overnight across Oklahoma and Kansas. Authorities in Westmoreland confirming one person was killed, nearly 24 homes destroyed.
I was born here. Yep. I was raised here.
It's your fault.
Oh my God, it looks like a trailer. That's a sad place to agree. Like admit.
In a broad sweep of violent weather with more than 180.
I do like doing this. I don't. It's terrible, but I do like when they show footage like this and you look down and you're like to see what people's rooms look like. You're like, ew, that bedroom was that color. Look at that purple.
Like why would you paint your walls purple? That one had a pink kitchen.
And this one's gray. It's like there's probably no light going into this room. It's just dark all the time.
Yeah, I always feel like I would be weirded out. Like if you're looking at this footage and you see all this destruction and then you see the one house that survived, could you imagine being that one guy going, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Just walk in, drink your coffee.
Fucking Iraq.
Like, just nuts, man.
Westmoreland. What about East Westland? Fucking nailed it. Double gun.
Nailed it.
Continuing.
Broad sweep of violent weather with more than 180 tornadoes reported since Thursday. At least 6 people killed, including a 4-month-old girl. She was with her family inside their Oklahoma home Saturday when a tornado threw it 200 yards. The infant's mom telling NBC News, "We are heartbroken."
Wait a minute. Did I hear that right?
No, not. I don't think it was the baby. We awed over, I think, the thing that was tossed.
Oh, this is
go
terrible.
back for a second. I mean, as much as I don't want to go back.
Including a 4-month-old girl. She was with her family inside their Oklahoma home Saturday when a tornado threw it 200 yards. The infant's mom telling NBC News, "We are heartbroken."
Okay, let me ask this. The tornado threw the house 200 yards.
Yeah.
How did the other people live?
People live.
I mean, they could take the impact and the
maybe
infant couldn't.
Maybe I've seen
I'm not
people
even making
get
light
hit
on it.
by.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I've seen news stories of people surviving falling out of an airplane and the parachute not working, and I've seen people fall off a stair and break their neck. Like, it's just luck of the draw, man.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, a 4-month-old, they're just no bones, pure just gelatinous kid that just sits there. I mean, we both have kids, 4-month-old. They're fragile.
Yeah, it's.
That sucks.
I took the fun out of this now.
Could you imagine? We're talking about people's lives being destroyed by tornadoes, and when the baby dies, that's when the fun is let out of the balloon here.
Because I saw the photo first before she started speaking, and I was going to say, what football team was he on?
Oh, you had all these jokes lined up, and you can't do them now? Sorry to ruin your night, Eric.
Well, they threw something for 200 yards for the first time in his career. I mean,
it's not Texas Tech.
That's terrible.
Anyway.
Poor baby.
And tonight, the threat continues with 23 million Americans once again under severe weather threats, battering a swath
all of them
America
living in
already
trailers.
Exhausted and weary of what's next.
Is that looming in your mind?
That's why we've been.
Does nobody else do this? I'm going to bring it up again. Does nobody look at these aerial shots of houses demolished and just to see what the rooms look like? Or like when they do the drone footage and you're just seeing like, ew, he collected that, like whatever.
It's like your version of Cribs where you get to see in people's homes, but this time it's because of tornado damage.
Right. Man, you're looking for the guy that maybe had like a real doll or some kind of sex dungeon or something.
Right. Be like, those were all the bodies were buried. The serial killer was under
all this devastation and damage and people or whatever, and you got the drone footage going and they go, wait a minute, go back to that house in the corner there. Go back to the blue room. Go look. Zoom in on that. What is that? Oh
right.
My God. Yeah. Oof. I'm sure this
freezer had a bunch of body parts in it. We finally caught that killer.
Is that looming in your mind?
Yeah, he just had a series of industrial butcher freezers in his basement, and now everybody's like, whoa.
And the only reason it got caught is because of Mother Nature.
The tornado.
Thanks, tornadoes.
Maggie Vespa, NBC News.
And that's another thing, too. I've seen this at some point. How is a flagpole still standing?
Yeah. I don't know.
That looks like, it may not get cemented, it may not rip out the base, but that should bend pretty easy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, things like blades of grass getting impaled.
You see basketball hoops on that, the ones that the stupid parents that put the hoop on the street. You like the permanent fixtures right there on their property so they can play in the street to play basketball. Yeah. Those are fine, but the house is demolished.
Right. We still play basketball.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Not you, Timmy.
You don't have a home. Homeless Timmy. That's your new name now.
Way to go, idiot. Can we use your basketball hoop since it's the only thing you got? All right. What's this other tornado footage that we have here? It's just more footage of it, man. It's crazy.
Where is it located? Does it say?
That's on YouTube. No, I think it has various shots from different spots. A lot of Kansas, some of the Oklahoma stuff.
Oklahoma declared a state of emergency in 12 counties after severe storms and several tornadoes ripped across Oklahoma on Saturday. Storms left at least 4 people dead. Again with the baby.
Look, people are going to die, Eric.
Oh, here we go. Sulfur. I knew it was one of them. Extensive destruction in Sulfur, Oklahoma, a town about 5,000 people and home to the Chickasaw Nation Cultural Center.
Haven't they suffered enough?
I know, right? It's like, you're just getting your recognition by the government. You're getting your land back, and then Mother Nature just goes, no, and rips up your cultural center.
Noah, save us.
No, and the wave just goes right over him. That's a Simpsons reference. Took place with officials said it was a 15-block storm radius that was leveled. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough for the description here. Let's watch some of this nonsense and see how it does.
Powerful weekend storms led to tornadoes ripping through parts of the Midwest and Great Plains. In Oklahoma, at least 4 people were killed, including a baby, and over 100 were injured as more than 20 twisters touched down in the state. Sulphur, Oklahoma was hit particularly hard, turning the downtown district into a debris field.
This is what I saw.
The National Weather Service estimates 17 tornadoes touched down.
Look at that. 15 block radius of the town just leveled.
Let me look this up. Now, as a movie studio, do you push back the release of Twisters? It's coming out in July. I mean, it's only May.
No,
a couple months have gone past. Maybe you still release it in July.
People have short attention spans.
Okay,
they're gonna do it. If this was coming out this weekend,
like next week,
yeah,
right.
Then they'd be like, "We can't do this right now."
We're gonna have to push it a little bit. Yeah.
Oof.
Field. The National Weather Service estimates 17 tornadoes touched down in Iowa as well during the Friday storms, including the small town of Minden, where an entire neighborhood was devastated.
Jeez.
And in the Elkhorn section of Omaha, Nebraska, twisters damaged over 150 homes.
You come upstairs and see that you have no house from emerging from the basement. You're home, but you're actually homeless.
In a call with Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, President Biden pledged the full support of the federal government in recovery efforts.
Tornadoes are just terrifying to me. I lived in Kansas, and it's like the worst feeling knowing that stuff can just hit.
Yeah.
Well, I remember running home from school because of a tornado. Like they were testing the alarm, and I just booked it home thinking there was something coming. No.
So I'm in the Northeast. I'm right outside of New York City. And the year the kid was born, that summer, I had alerts going off 2 or 3 times during that summer. Not just like, hey, a warning for severe weather. The phone goes off, and it's almost like the noise that they use for the Amber Alert, saying tornado warning, not even a watch, warning. So that means something touched down. They have confirmation, all hands on deck kind of deal. You don't get that around here.
No.
Like, ever. So when that starts going off and all your devices that are synced into anything start flashing tornado, whatever, I go running from the studio to going up, a few floors to go. Now I got to grab the kid. I got to grab the pets. Like, I don't know what to do with all of this stuff. And I'm bringing them all down to the studio. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But this is what we have to do.
That's about it.
And then it says the warning is for like 2.5 hours. So I thought these things were supposed to be fast and over and done with. 2.5 hours, I'm sitting there and I'm go, do I chance I can't chance the kid. I can't bring the kid back up to the crib to during all this. Because if when I do that, all of a sudden you get the rumbling and like, I'm fucked,
They hit quick too. I mean,
that's as close as I got to dealing with a tornado. Other than water spouts, which I've seen off the coast of Florida. But that's about it.
Nothing. No, tornadoes are terrifying. No, thank you. Like I said, lived in Kansas. It's the worst feeling knowing that that's an entire season dedicated to this could possibly happen. I'm like, no thanks.
Well, that has been a lot. Pretty much all of the disasters that have happened this week has just been tornado related. There was a plane crash on Long Island today. It crashed on the beach. Small plane, but I think everyone survived. If I walked past the TV as it was on, but I remember some beach on Long Island, a small plane touched down in an unscheduled airport, and it seemed like everything was okay. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. I'm moving on. Space stuff. We've been wanting to do this for a while. A lot of space stuff to get into. There's black holes, lasers,
race cars, airplanes.
I was trying to think of, was there a song lyric I could quote? And I think I was mixing up Black Hole Sun with
The DuckTales theme song?
No, the Soul Asylum song.
Oh, yeah.
Is it black hole, white light, fill up the tank, let's go for a ride? I can't think of it.
I think so.
Oh, it's black gold, not black hole. I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. Isolate that and use it for your friends. All right, so a lot of space stuff we need to get to here. Where do you want to start? Because we have a lot.
Let's start with just the black hole.
Black hole it is. So not too long ago, in recent years, they finally had a composite of what a black hole may look like. It was theorized up until that point where they did something with filters and one of those giant floating telescopes out there. It might have been the James Webb telescope. And they were able to put together a composite of what I guess the entire scientific community agreed was the official looking of a black hole from what we can do. And it was just a black circle with red, orange fire around it. Kind of cool looking. Blurry, but interesting as far as space stuff goes. Well, they're constantly looking at black holes and other anomalies like that. And apparently they discovered a new one a few weeks ago. The biggest black hole in the Milky Way, which is the galaxy that we are in. Not the solar system. Our solar system is in the galaxy. The biggest black hole they've been able to find in the Milky Way galaxy is only 2,000 light years away from Earth.
Which, in the terms of space, is not that far.
No, that's like driving maybe an hour.
Close.
It's driving to Pennsylvania in comparison to it. So
Amish black hole. That's why it doesn't work. There's no power.
They're not allowed to plug it in. Here we go. Here's a black hole there for you. That. We'll do that. There you go. All right. So let's see. Researchers have found the biggest black hole in our solar system located only 2,000 light years from Earth. Researchers spotted the black hole when they noted the wiggle of a nearby orbiting star. No one was expecting to find a high-mass black hole lurking nearby undetected so far. They've had no...
Lurking.
Yeah.
It's just stalking us.
It's in your chat room. It's not giving any bits. It's not doing a like. It's not letting you know, hey, good job playing your game.
The black hole had to register on the list because it keeps lurking the neighborhood.
Craig Law, you're nailing it here. So we're circling the drain, essentially. Yes.
I mean, yeah.
We kind of are. No one's expecting a high-mass black hole lurking nearby, undetected so far. This is the kind of discovery you make once in your research life. After noticing the wobbling star through the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope, that is the official name. Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope is the name of it, and other Earthbound observatories confirm the size of the black hole. It is estimated it is about 33 times bigger than our sun. Still, it's not the biggest black hole in the Milky Way galaxy. Wait a minute, wasn't this whole thing started that they found the biggest black hole in the Milky Way is 2,000 light years away? Now they're saying they're contradicting their own headline here. Still, it's not the biggest black hole in the Milky Way galaxy. That title belongs to Sagittarius A, the supermassive black hole at the center of our Milky Way. This is misleading. Whoever wrote this is not only not a scientist, they're also not a journalist or understand context of anything. Details on the study were published in Astronomy and Physics. The findings can be helped to... this is all nonsense. Okay. They named the black hole. Who cares why they named it? Usually black holes like this are found with gravitational waves, but at times they can be spotted when the massive voids pull in matter from unfortunate nearby objects. If it does this, the light sparks give away their position in the galaxy. Until then, they are practically invisible and tough to spot. However, researchers spotted the star with an unusual orbit. They decided to take a closer look. It turns out that it was caught in an orbital motion with a dormant black hole. So the star is just circling around something that has some sort of mass, but it's not active. So it's essentially, we're right next to an active volcano. It's been dormant for forever, but that's no guarantee that this thing will never, ever blow up again. So the black hole that's only 2,000 light years away from us is, I guess it's in neutral. It's on pause.
I think maybe that's what they were alluding to, where this one isn't active. It would be the biggest had they flipped the switch and that one was actually an active black hole.
Right.
Maybe. Otherwise, it's a poorly written article.
Yeah, it is. But
way to go, Highlights Magazine.
Struck again. They're getting all the press passes. I don't know how they're doing none of that. So you have here's how it was formed. Yeah, we Big Bang. It's the answer for everything. So that seems to be the case, is that this dormant black hole is sitting right next to us, not active, but things are still just rotating around. It's like somebody turned it off while it was happening. So things are just spinning around with nowhere to go because of centrifugal motion and inertia, waiting for that thing to turn back on and, as Craig Law put it, be sucked down a giant toilet. And that'll be the end. This, you know what this also seems like? This seems like an X-Men plot or some kind of superhero thing where some villain is going to launch a nuclear weapon to relaunch the black hole.
Let's
to recharge
reignite the black hole.
Reignite it so it goes and it starts sucking down the solar system and the universe and and what have you here. Ooh, that's a good idea. Let's write that down and
restart black hole.
Copyright.
We'll need to crowdfund.
Yes, it happens. All right, moving on. What else do we have here? We did the black hole. Space laser transmissions. Lasers.
Laser beams.
Yeah, so apparently a space laser transmission strikes Earth from 140 million miles away, according to NASA. The redefine this. Why do they always got to put fucking canny nonsense? This redefines a long distance call. Already, you've lost credibility. I don't want to read your stupid report. Earth just received a laser transmission from a world or perhaps a universe record-breaking 140 million miles away, which could have major implications for the future of space travel. However, the correspondence wasn't exactly extraterrestrial in origin. It was actually sent by NASA's Psyche spacecraft, which is currently located approximately 1.5 times the distance between Earth and the sun. This represents a significant milestone for the project by showing how optical communications can interfere with spacecraft radio frequencies and comm systems. So they purposely set this up.
Yeah.
Say, hey, let's fuck with our broadcast here. Let's see what happens here. And then we say, oh, lasers hit.
Yeah. Just another test. We're just making very expensive tests out to space.
I thought that's bullshit.
You thought there was going to be alien space lasers.
Yeah, and I had a photo to go with that too, and I didn't want to put it up, but now...
Put it up anyway. Show the people why they come to the live chat.
Here's your space laser. I was showing you a space laser.
Basically, the article says NASA wanted to show the potential for laser communications to be conducted across interstellar distances, allowing for high bandwidth and much speedier connection. So basically, instead of paying for the low broadcast for your internet, you're getting the 1 gig speeds is what they're trying to do. So from 10 to 100 times faster than what's available today between humans and probes that they send into space.
Well, thanks to net neutrality being reinstated, we don't have those problems anymore.
Not anymore.
We don't need your damn $800 a month space laser package. I'm not stealing.
You can't throttle my space laser speeds anymore just because you want to. Thanks, Verizon space lasers.
All right, let's move on to the more interesting of all the stories outside of the super black hole. Voyager. Now, Voyager was a program that NASA activated in 1979. They launched Voyager 1 satellite, which was supposed to be a communication beacon as it went to explore certain planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. I don't know if it did Neptune, but I know those three and their moons and what have you. And then was meant to just sail away and see how far it could go. It was also loaded up with markings of Earth, basic math and science equations to show just hopefully that if they ran into other civilizations, rudimentary language, if you will, that could kind of connect or make something understand with another civilization. They had a gold container that's mounted on there that they could pop off, and inside were gold vinyl printed records with sounds of the planet. Different languages, different animals, all of
Rush
that stuff.
albums.
Yeah, Rush albums in there. Van Halen 4.
Right.
1984. All of that stuff. Makes no sense because this went out in 79. Why did I say that?
77.
Zeppelin 3? Am I close? Somewhere in there? I don't know.
Maybe.
The White Album from the Beatles. There you go. So that was on there so they could mount it out and hopefully figure out how to play it and hear the sounds of life on Earth. Voyager 1 completes its mission, gives us the first really in-depth look at a lot of these planets, their moons, the giant storm on Jupiter. That old grainy footage was from Voyager that you used to see on all the science programs or in school.
It's 46 years old. It's done some work.
And then it was sent out to pasture to go out and see how far it could go before it dies. Then they also had Voyager 2, which went out a year or two later after Voyager 1, right? I think so.
Let me look. Voyager 2 went out. No, it actually went out the same year. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 both went out in 1977.
Well, Voyager 2 went out, also did some other, it oversaw some of the stuff that Voyager 1 had, and I think it got some additional footage of Neptune and Pluto and what have you, and then was heading in the same direction to go out there. Now, Voyager 1 had more of a head start than Voyager 2 did. Voyager 1, not too long ago, crossed that heliosphere level, which is that boundary that they believed existed on the outside of our solar system that separates our solar system between interstellar space. And it landed in there about 2012, and then it took till like 2018 to get through the whole thing. So it was bigger than they thought it was, and all the information that Voyager was sending back to us pretty much redescribed and made people change all their theories and outlines for what they thought the heliosphere was, what it contained, what it can do.
Yeah.
Got past there and then was in interstellar space, which was new territory for Earth because we never had anything go that far. Voyager 2 went through there and actually had precise settings because Voyager 1 went through some of the stuff they sent back was not making any sense. It was a little messed up. And Voyager 2 went through there and they're like, oh, okay, here's all the exact information from the second one, cleaned everything up, pieced all the stuff together. Recently, Voyager 1 lost communication. And by recent, several months ago, lost communication with us. And then they kind of got it back online and it was speaking all gibberish and it wasn't making any sense. The thing's 46 years old, so the equipment is antiquated as hell. And they were just probably figuring, all right, this is as far as we can go with this. The stuff has died and got damaged. We can't replace this anymore. So it is what it is. But there was teams at NASA that kept going. They were figuring out some of the stuff that was being sent back to them. They finally realized there was like some part of a microchip or something that was or a processing board was down. Yeah. So they broke down the coding into multiple pieces to work in all the other portions of the board that works. And they would just add all the information together and make a bigger, the full picture since they couldn't do it that way. And they got it back online.
It's crazy. Like they were able to repair something that is since 2012 in interstellar space, like the furthest we've ever sent anything out, completely malfunctions. They're like, well, you know what? You had a good run. It's been 45 years. No big deal. We got what we needed. And then, they're like, well, let's take a crack at it. And it turns out it was just something that they could rewrite code, bypass the malfunctioning systems and still get the information in. And as of, I think a couple weeks ago, we're starting to receive information again, when they thought they weren't going to do anything. And it's just still trucking along. It just, you had to bypass the broken parts.
Right.
It's insane.
It's amazing that they broke it down because it's all math, it's all ones and zeros, all of that stuff. No matter how fancy the technology is, it all is down to that base coding. No matter what they do, and they figure out a way to separate it, put it in different spots, retrieve it from different spots, add it back together, and then they got their information. Like it's almost when people think they can erase a hard drive,
Yeah.
And sit there, it's like, well, unless you're drilling through it and pulverizing the thing, if you're just running a magnet, even though it's erased, is still not enough. There's ways of going through back ends and figuring out coding, and that's how you have shit like Hunter Biden's laptop or other things where they was like, hey, somebody threw out this laptop and I just found all your nude photos and videos and I'm putting them out online. That's how that shit happens. So they got Voyager back online. They're getting transmissions back. Was there any update on some of the stuff they were getting now that was making
they're
sense?
still kind of going through it and decoding it. It took a while once they fixed it to get the information. I mean, because obviously that information is being sent from that far. It's going to take a while.
Right.
So for the last 5 months, they just been working to fix it. So they figured out the problem with the memory chip. They restored some of the essential software, and now they're trying to check on its health, basically. So a lot of it's diagnostic. A lot of it's just, making sure it's going. And then, they'll probably over the next couple of weeks start. I think it'll be back in the news as a viable source of information, because no one ever hears about Voyager 1 anymore. No one's talking about that stuff. It's all James Webb. It's all, all that stuff. I mean, like Arecibo's gone, but they're still checking places in New Mexico for like radio waves and all that stuff. So Voyager 1 has not been the hot ticket for a long time. And now with this coming out, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more news about what they find, which is kind of cool.
Tom from Alberta saying Jordan hates when his nude photos keep getting recovered.
Nope. Nothing but Polaroids, man. Hard copies only.
Thumbtack to the wall. Like
Thumbtack. With like bits of string. Looks like Charlie Day.
Jordan hangs them up in his garage like a pinup girl. It's like they're supposed to be of other people, not of yourself.
Yeah.
Silly boy.
I send them out in the other show's newsletters.
I have some. We have some footage here that they put out of reconnecting with the Voyager.
Fucking Voyager.
V-G-E-R. Voyager.
I hated this movie.
A lot of people do. It's okay. I like this storyline. The rest of it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
He's able to wipe off space tarnish.
He wasn't smart enough to like think that was more word to that.
Yeah, because whenever I see a sign, if there's certain parts that are blacked
there's no
out,
possible way there's a middle part.
Space Administration. Jim, this was launched more than 300 years ago.
Oh, they didn't even leave it.
They didn't even do
even
the full
people
thing.
clipping it was like, all right, this was a bad idea. Just cut it.
Jeez. Like, we don't want to get too deep into the Voyager bullshit.
I remember my dad watching them. When did Star Trek, the motion picture, come out? The original one?
70s.
79
or 80.
I remember my dad talking about that movie once as a little kid, something because my mom loved Star Trek, and what did we?
79.
I think we went to. I went to the movie theater. I think the first movie I saw was 4.
Yeah, that was 86. Yeah,
was the Return Home, right? Is that the name?
The Voyage Home with the whales.
With the whales, the time travel, all that. That's what I went to.
Which you and I quote a lot. Like, I've noticed that. Like, we do that a lot.
Hello, computer. Oh, you got to use the keyboard and mouse. Oh, isn't that quaint? And
you just gave him. You just gave him the solution to transparent aluminum.
How do we know he didn't invent it? Eh?
And then they're both like smiling, like, Captain, we just fucked up the space-time continuum, but
there be whales on board. Yeah, all of that. So that was the first Star Trek movie that I went to see, and I think the first introduction to Star Trek stuff. And I remember my dad saying, so much better than the first one in that Voyager crap.
Voyager shit.
And I didn't know. I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, oh, this whole thing here. And then it turns out to be the Voyager shuttle. the Voyager satellite thing. And he's like, load of crap. And he told me, he's like, yeah, people in the theater were like, what the hell is this?
People were pissed.
They were just watching the whole thing, and that was the big reveal. Yeah, I had no idea. So, unfortunately, when we had a lot of Star Trek people coming in and out of our doors, I have the first movie signed by a lot of the cast. Most people go for The Wrath of Khan. Most people would even go for The Voyage Home. Both fantastic movies. I got the first movie signed by everybody. I don't think a lot of people have that, nor I don't think a lot of people want that. But I have it.
It's funny because the first one had the dad from that crazy religious, show with Jessica Biel, and then the one with the whales, Voyage Home, had the mom. And I was like, do you like Italian food?
He tasks me, and I shall have him for it. That's the second movie, my friend.
That is.
We only quote the fourth movie.
Khan.
I used to love
in this house. We respect the laws of thermodynamics.
I used to always try to remember what the punk song was when the guy's got the boombox on the bus.
It was the guy with the boombox, I guess, was like the sound engineer, and that was his band. So it wasn't even like a well-known band. It was like a garage band.
They don't have to pay for it because it was
exactly.
I just remember I don't like you, and I say screw you. Like that was the whole thing. It was just I say something you and I say something you, and then Spock just leans over and is like good night, puts the guy to sleep.
Everyone just now Lucy might be competing for the second possible title of the show.
Double dumbass on you.
Double dumbass on you. One of my favorite quotes from that one.
Another great scene is when they're in the hospital, right? And Bones is going down the hallway, and that old lady's in agony on the gurney, and she's like, "Please help me!" And he stops and he goes, "What's wrong?" And he looks at her chart.
Barbarian.
He's looking at there, and he's like, he goes. So it was something along the line. Yeah, barbarians are savages or something, so archaic, whatever. And he goes, he chucks the thing down. He just gives her some kind of pill out of his bag. He goes, here you go. And he grabs her hand like a sweet old lady. He goes, you'll be okay. He gives her the pill. They go to do something, and then it cuts back to that scene where she's and she's dancing around. The doctors are like, what the fuck happened? She was dying of kidney failure or something. I love that movie so much.
Excuse me, will you stop? Would you mind stopping that damn noise?
They're gonna surgery barbarians.
I love that Spock's trying to use like bad language. It's like, Spock, where the hell's that power you promised? One damn minute, Admiral. It's like he's just trying so hard.
Right.
I love that movie.
All right, moving on. So there's going to be a rare stellar explosion that will ignite a new star, and we will be able to see it this year.
That is kind of cool. We can predict, eclipses. We know when they're coming. We could see them and stuff like that. But this is something I don't think probably we'll ever see again.
All right.
In our lifetime, at least.
Let's take a listen to this.
Get ready to see a star explode. Sometime between now and September, a bright light will appear in the sky and only be visible to the naked eye for a few days near the Hercules and Boötis constellations. The light will actually be a massive explosion called a nova in a star system named T Corona Borealis. TCRB is made up of two dying stars, a red giant and white dwarf, that orbit each other closely. As the red giant expands and cools, gas from its outer layers is pulled onto the nearby white dwarf. As this gas piles up on the small dense star, its interior gets hotter and hotter until it triggers a massive explosion, a nova, and that's what we'll see in the night sky. A nova is different from a supernova, which is an explosion so enormous that the dying star expels its outer layers out into the universe, usually leaving behind a neutron star or a black hole. TCRB explodes about every 80 years. The last time it was visible was in 1946.
I was just singing it in my head. I was like,
1217.
Damn it.
Now, scientists are observing a similar pattern, a change in the star system's brightness, which is a harbinger for an upcoming explosion. And scientists expect it to explode again about 80 years from now.
Beverly Hills Cop 1, right?
Yes, doing the neutron dance.
So that's cool. Sometime between now and September, we'll see a brighter white dot and not know what it is unless the news tells us, hey, look up. See that other white dot? Yeah, that's an explosion. All right, fantastic.
I'll wait for this.
I'll wait for the footage from the telescope and see what it looks
the
like.
high res from the large telescope that they're going to have pointed at it constantly. That'd be cool.
I want to bring this up before we go to break. You know what the black box is for an airplane?
Yeah, it's where they all the flight data and they record all the stats,
right?
So they can check what happened.
So essentially, that box is supposed to be indestructible. It's supposed to be able to survive the worst an airplane crash can do, right? And then whatever the equivalent is for submarines, for ships, what have you, it's the same thing. It's a black box that keeps all the vital information of what was going on, recordings, monitorings, all that stuff as the vessel sinking, crashing, what have you. Well, apparently, they've made a black box that will record our planet's demise in minute detail.
Oh, why?
The disaster recorder aims to set us on a better path by watching our every move. Every commercial flight you have taken has been recorded. Every tug on the yoke and every adjustment of the throttle.
Oh, they're watching that?
I'm reading the wrong stuff. Has been dutifully logged by a little recording device tucked away in the tail of the aircraft. In the infamous black box that search and rescue crews scan the crash site for anytime an aviation incident occurs, its observations are a clear account of how the whole thing went down. When did this article come out? Oh boy. All right. So this thing's already fully working. It says next year our planet will get one of these disaster recorders as well. It's called Earth's Black Box. Clever name. The project is meant to painstakingly record every step of the planet's demise. Unless we dramatically transform our way of life, climate change and other man-made perils will cause our civilization to crash. And the Earth's Black Box website reads, there's a full website for this thing. I'll have to explore that too. The solar-powered vault will roughly be the length of a school bus and the shape of an upside-down curb stop. That's weird. And the entire thing will be encased in 3-inch thick steel designed to withstand catastrophe. You would think 3 inches of steel would not be enough to survive like a nuclear blast or a planetary explosion. You'd think it'd need to be maybe a few feet thick, right?
A little bit, yeah.
3 inches. Encased in a 3-inch thick steel designed to withstand catastrophe, just as an airplane's black box is built to withstand an impact. And just like the black box is tucked away in the safest part of the plane, Earth's black box will be placed in the most secure location on Earth. Care to guess where this is?
Fort Knox?
Salt Lake City, Utah. No, that's your hockey team.
Fuckers. It all comes back to that. So I'm just mad all the time now.
Tasmania. Come to Tasmania. Come to Tasmania. Do, 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 do. No one saw that cartoon? Okay.
Yeah. That's why it got canceled.
When it goes online, Earth's black box will be filled with hard drives recording and storing climate-related information, ABC News Australia has reported. The project, which is in collaboration between the University of Tasmania and a communications firm called Clemenger BBDO and an art... All right, now you're losing credibility. An art collective called the Glue Society... I should have read this ahead of time. Is slated to begin construction in early 2022. The box will collect temperature measurements, ocean acidification data on land use, military spending. I don't know how it knows that. Energy consumption and human population growth. It will also scrape news headlines, social media posts, and information from key climate change conferences between heads of state. All right, whatever. So they're building the big black box. It's going to be in Tasmania, of all places. Is it going to be right next to where they dug out for Luke's house? Isn't that in Tasmania as well?
No, it's Tunisia.
Is
like
it?
Not even on the same continent.
Oh, all right. I was close.
No, Tunisia's in Africa. Not even close.
No, I thought some of the Star Wars shit was built in Australia.
Maybe like the prequel stuff went over there, but no, most of the original series was Tunisia. Which is in Africa.
Okay. I learned something today. It definitely wasn't about the black box. It was about where Star Wars was filmed and located.
We're hitting Star Wars and Star Trek shows tonight.
Let me show you what this thing looks like. This is ridiculous. This is off their website. Look at this thing. It looks almost like the Cybertruck from Tesla.
Oh my God. That's so stupid.
Right? Scroll down. Okay, I'm scrolling down.
That's like the MoMA, right? Oh my God, is it just hanging off a cliff?
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a toboggan.
Actually, it was a tower and then it fell over, so we left it that way.
Or it's an old grain silo that they just tagged some metal to it and they left it there.
Looks like an inanimate carbon rod.
It looks like in the cartoons when you'd see a log going over a river, it would go out straight and then fall down into the waterfall or whatever it was going to do.
Oh God, that is so stupid. What? We deserve to die. I don't care anymore.
This is going to survive. The entire planet is going to be this long oblong thing. Only 3 inches thick, by the way, of steel, because that's all that you need to defend yourself from the universe.
We float out in space, looking like Mega Maid.
Oh, look, it's recording what we're doing on their website.
God damn it.
Is there like an Earth cam or something, or live?
No, they said they didn't even build it yet. That can't be.
They started building it in early 2022.
I'll have to take.
So it should probably be done.
You would think.
How the story ends is completely up to us. One thing is certain: your actions, inactions, and interactions are now being recorded. Okay, I can't walk down Manhattan with 24 cameras watching me go to Starbucks.
Right.
What am I going to care? It's like, oh, future civilizations are going to find this recording of Earth and like, well, look at this guy here. He's too busy doing his stupid radio show. Didn't bother to go out there and go, why is it so hot out? Let's reduce carbon emissions. I don't care. I'm already dead and gone. It doesn't matter.
Now, Craig's killing it tonight. 3 inches. Maybe Earth is a grower, not a shower.
Maybe it's like one of those pills for the sponge dinosaurs when it goes into like the vastness of space. Put it in the water. It expands.
Just add water.
Oh, Blitz Mob. That monolith stole my credit card. All right. Why are we storing humanity in a Minecraft block? Tom from Alberta.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, it is like Noah's Ark. And then we can reenact the Simpsons scene. Noah, save us. No. Slams the door, wave. That's what happens. Oh my God. They started building in 2022, so it's full of COVID.
Right? We just killed massive alien species.
We're killing the world because China can't get a hold of itself.
Get your shit together, China.
All right. All right, that's it for now. We have more space stuff, but we can do that next time. We've gone pretty long with this. Let's take a break. We can try to speed through segment 2, and then you're allowed to go on with your lives.
More, it's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
Next.
Jordan, it's May!
Oh my God, already.
All your constant NSYNC and Justin Timberlake memes that you keep posting, and everyone says, why are you doing this? We're thinking like less of you for doing so. Jordan can't get enough of telling people it's gonna be May over and over. But that's not the message.
Time of the year.
It's not the message we want to give out, because I know you're going to be so obnoxious come this weekend with all your Star Wars shit, and May the 4th be with you.
Oh, I've already started. I've made my lists. I've checked them twice. I can't wait to bombard the internet with my rants.
You're not Santa Claus.
Manifestos.
How many times we got to keep telling you that? You're not Santa Claus. But it's May, and that means Mother's Day is going to be here. The moms in our lives put up with a lot of shit, especially having a son like Jordan. Sure, some of us were angels, but others were like Jordan. So, Jordan, this message seems to... I don't know why Steven wrote this. It's in the copy here. It's just a personal attack on you.
This is why I hate Steven Singer.
Right. He doesn't think you're a good person. Jordan, not so much. And then it says, share a personal story of Jordan. I don't have one, but I'm sure we can get Jordan's mom on and she can say some
Could talk about me being adopted. I don't know. We'll think of something.
All right. So toast to all the moms out there for all their hard work with Steven's brand new 24-karat gold dipped rose in red wine. And, oh, look at you.
Ooh, I'm prepared.
Ooh, I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Fantastic.
Very pretty.
Right there, into there. It's red wine colored, laced in gold. This deep, rich burgundy color rose will go perfectly with the glass of wine that she has to drink for being Jordan's mom. She surely deserves it. Steve's. We're on a personal friendly basis now. Steven's famous 24-karat gold dip roses are real roses preserved and dipped in pure 24-karat gold, guaranteed to last a lifetime. What's going to be here at the end of the world? That Earth box and Steven Singer roses. Alien civilizations will open up. They'll just have a bad recording of some podcasts and a ton of these roses are in there, almost like the ET burial site that was out in the desert. It's just a ton of these roses, and they're going to go, "What was this planet just petrified? How was anything living on it?"
The only thing surviving the end of the world is 3 inches of steel and 24-karat gold dipped roses.
Correct.
Steven Singer.
So make your Mother's Day extra special with a luxurious red wine 24-karat gold dip rose for just $69. I forgot the drop again. Damn it. $69. There you go. Check out Steven Singer's entire collection of gold dip roses at ihatestevensinger.com. We talked about he has that frozen blue line.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
That looks pretty awesome. White and sparkly, and
it's got the Care Bears rainbow ones. He's got quite a collection.
It's what happens when this goes into deep space and then freezes. It starts to look like the frozen rose, which you can buy right now. $69 at ihatestevensinger.com. Free shipping in time for Mother's Day. Free personalized gift message from you and a lifetime guarantee. Only at Steven Singer Jewelers. That's ihatestevensinger.com. Tell him and Alien Life Forms that you heard about it when you read that recording, hear that recording, transcripts, whatever. On It's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com. It's Eric Nagel. Eric Nagel.
Segment 2 of the show. Eric, Jordan here with you, going over television, movies, streaming updates, going through all that stuff that happens on a weekly basis so that you can filter out what is going to be correct for you. What do you wish to waste your time with? We waste our time so that you don't have to waste your time to go through that stuff. So then you can waste your time with the things you do want to waste your time with. Enough about wasting time. Jordan, what have you been watching this week?
I finished up Conan O'Brien Must Go and immediately went into Conan O'Brien Without Borders like you did.
Fantastic, right?
Kind of skipping around though, like just kind of piecemealing what I wanted to watch. I watched Japan and a few other things. I like the Max version a little bit more. It's a little more polished. It's a little more fun, but it's still so fun to watch him just interact with people. He is... He is
Conan Without Borders
favorite.
Was still structured for regular television.
It was TBS. I think it was when he was with TBS.
Yeah, but
so
I mean, with
still,
commercial breaks and things like and recaps and stuff because they have to.
But it was still fun. So I've been doing that. To kill time, I've been going through The Office again, and I'm like noticing like how some of the jokes don't land as well as they used to, and things like that. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then I watched the new show on Paramount. Which is the spinoff of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie series, Knuckles. So I watched the first 2 episodes of that.
I've seen a lot of
quite
praise.
Enjoyable.
I've seen a lot of praise online for this show.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I mean, surprisingly, those movies were enjoyable. We are getting a 3rd one. We just announced that Keanu Reeves is joining that one as Shadow the Hedgehog. Knuckles is, you see Idris Elba returning as the voice of Knuckles the Echidna. And he's kind of going off on his own little side story away from the main Sonic world. And it's not bad. It's surprisingly enjoyable and it's fun. Just again, it comes down to I'm running out of things to have time with the kids to watch. Mm-hmm. And this is something I can put on that I don't hate that I can put on there. So that's out now. And it's quite enjoyable. And that's what and then X-Men. X-Men is a weekly thing. It's far and away one of the best versions of X-Men put to screen. They did great by this series. I hope they continue on. It's crazy.
Right now. I have not. I don't think I watched anything this week but X-Men 97. Trying to catch up. I'm not even at the new episodes yet. I think I just started season 4 of X-Men 97. I've been watching it back to back to back, and I did notice that I can see why people praise this show so much, because it's continuous storylines. It's characters that were already developed, even though some of them are only in there for one episode and then they're gone. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. The dialogue is so terrible on most of the characters. Rogue was bothering me at first. Now Xavier's really pissing me off because his dialogue's terrible too. But I'm enjoying it. I like the storylines. The Juggernaut is back, so I'm going to get to see that episode. And then, so I have, 2 seasons here to finish before I get into the current stuff?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, you've just moved past the Dark Phoenix saga, and you've kind of moved into some of the newer storylines of that older series from the 90s.
So I'm getting into this, and then I've been doing a good job of not seeing anything currently of the current season. So
yeah, and Rob and I haven't really kind of gone over any of that stuff with you either. So I'm glad you're kind of catching up. There are the old showrunner that got let go. He's kind of back online talking about the show, even though he's not associated with it anymore. He's been telling people look, with this new episode, that is a certain version of this character. And then here's my list of episodes you probably should watch from the old series that'll make sense when these last 2 episodes air next week and the week after, respectively. So I'm having a good time with this show, a lot more. And I think what was great about the old series, even though the lines were cheesy, they didn't dumb it down for children. These were pretty heady subject matter, told in the cartoon X-Men format, and they didn't shy away from hitting some hard topics. And this new series is definitely leaning that way. They're like, hey, all these kids that grew up with this, they're adults now. So this is the story for the adults we're telling. Fuck the kids. Who cares? These are things that the adults are really going to identify with. And it's they're pretty intense. The last 2 episodes were pretty crazy. So I'm excited that they already filmed a second season. And the early rumblings is that season 3 and 4 are going to be greenlit and done back to back like they did with these first 2. So we'll hopefully get about 4 seasons out of this minimum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge chance they took when they didn't know how this has been episodic.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how this was even going to turn out to begin with.
Yeah. And it's the highest rated show that they've ever put out. And it is consistently showing the numbers weekly. They have held everybody's attention, which is awesome. And there was even an episode in there that was but it was still good. You know what I mean? Their worst episode is still better than most.
They're like placeholders to keep because they have a certain amount of episodes that they have to do.
So this is great.
This just came online. I got a sidebar for a second.
Okay.
I normally don't give a shit about this, but it's just been getting crazier and crazier. Have you been seeing any of the stuff about Britney Spears on Instagram?
I know that she went a little crazy, complained about having to pay her ex-husband something, and then she deleted her Instagram.
No,
I don't know if she's back.
It's been back for a while. She's been doing these crazy dances where she just does the same kind of motions, and she's where she's kind of half pulling down her underwear, her shorts or bikinis, whatever, down to so you can see she's got these tattoos there, and then she's doing these dances and flipping around and all this stuff. She's doing all this weird shit. Well, on TMZ, they had a thing where I guess yesterday or the day before, she was at a hotel and the cops were called because some of the other tenants at the hotel thought that she was having a nervous breakdown, that she was up in her room with her current boyfriend, and then apparently there was some kind of altercation or something, and she apparently got hurt, her leg or foot or something, and she was out in the hallway and stuff, so people were calling the cops in the hotel saying something's going on here, you got to take care of this, what have you. There's photos of her out in front of the hotel with ambulance people. She's wearing a blanket, some kind of really raggedy thin shorts, and then that's it. There's nothing else. She's got a pillow over her chest with the blanket like this. That's how she came out. And then she turned around and went back into the hotel with the security from the hotel, or her security detail. I don't remember who, but not with the boyfriend. So he's not there. So she posted something today saying that just to let people know, here, I'll even try to put it up here so you can see it. Just to let people know the news is fake. I would like to respect at this time for people to understand that I am getting stronger every day. Truth sucks. So can someone teach me how to lie? Goddesses. This is where you start losing your shit. Goddesses out there. I'm reaching my higher power. And furthermore, I hope you guys are too. Need a toothbrush right now. I need an espresso. Not sure why I feel this need to share. I'm guessing I'm just a girl and I'm on my period. So I'm
This
bitchy.
was written by Diablo Cody.
I'm on my period and I'm bitchy, shit, and then shit emojis. I also twisted my ankle last night and paramedics showed up at my door illegally. They never came in my room, but I felt completely harassed. I'm moving to Boston. Peace. Okay. So
you don't want to be seen as a crazy, unhinged person. Don't post things like this.
Right. Well,
this seems unhinged.
It gets better because look at this here. So now she's posting some video footage of, you can see her legs all swollen or whatever.
Yeah, looks like she twisted her
bruised,
ankle.
whatever. Yeah, she's probably intoxicated or substance. What I don't know. Allegedly, fell and twisted her ankle or what have you. Here's what she wrote: I know my mom was involved, in multiple exclamation points. I haven't talked to her in 6 months, and yet she called right after it happened, before the news being out. I was set up just like she did way back when. I wish I had grandparents. I can't stand her. I honestly don't care. I will say it. PSSS, this man is wonderful. He's like a father to me, and he got me through last night. I adore you and admire you, Mr. Matthew. I don't know who that is. Here's more of her. What was she doing? Was she showing her other foot to compare that?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. That's her one. And it's so gross showing your feet. Why are you doing that? So whoever this guy is.
J.J. Abrams and a wolf. Got it.
Yeah. So this guy helped her out apparently. So that was going on. So that's why I wanted to ask you real quick about the foot thing here, right? So she's showing this nonsense with her foot. But then right after that, there's another dance video.
Of course.
19 minutes ago. Okay, I've been messing around and I thought this costume was beautiful. I used to do shows in Vegas with 2 layers of tights on my legs. They never let me show my real legs. It kind of felt weird and idiotic with a costume on in my living room. Well, Prince used to dress up in costumes every day of his life in his house. He used to pick specific dancers to entertain him when he was born. Useless information. Yeah, she just posts nonsense. And then there's videos like this, right? Where she does all this crazy shit. Oh, Gabby's in here. That guy is his lawyer.
Matthew's a lawyer.
Okay, is her lawyer. All right. Didn't know
Mr.
that.
Jonathan was Gary Busey.
There's a lot of audio in that first ankle video. Oh, I don't think I have it set up where Instagram can play the audio in there. All right. Anyway, she has a history of posting weird dance videos like this. Look here's another one here. Look at this. Like that. She's shoving her tits into the camera. She's usually pulling down her underwear. And then she posts weird video photos and stuff of her. Like, yeah, she's stroking a horse and then she's laying on it.
She looks like, why is she making eye contact with us like that? Like, stop it.
I know. She's nuts.
I'm touching my horse.
This has been going on for the longest time. And I am a big proponent of leave Britney alone. Because everybody's
mainly because it's fun for us.
Yeah. They're like, we need to help her. This girl's not well. And all of that is probably true.
No, because here's the thing. If you're going to go after
Britney, see right there, she pulls her things down just to show her tattoos in the V line all the time. Makes no sense. I want her to keep going. I know that's not the humane thing to do, but I want her to keep going.
She's not a puppy.
I've been thoroughly enjoying this. What do they call it? Her journey, if you will.
Whatever.
Yeah. Here you go. I got something else for you here.
I like the one where she was dancing with knives.
Yeah, the one where the people were dressing up like that for Halloween.
Because money can't buy knives.
Yeah, I know you think we just saw this. She's stroking the horse again. Sorry for the people on the radio, but
I don't like just look up on making eye contact with us.
Yeah, it's like, look what I'm doing. See what I'm doing.
She always looks tired too. Do you notice that? Like, she's always got the really dark eye makeup. She's always staring at you. She always.
The horse has his eyes closed. Even he's uncomfortable. And look how she's laying on the horse.
Oh my god. Hey y'all,
I'm riding a horse. You go. It's always shit pushing her tits and pulling her pants down. She also posts a lot of photos of her at tropical
nude on
locations.
A beach.
Yeah, nude on a beach somewhere with heart emojis, or her laying naked in a hotel room. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm thoroughly entertained by it, more so than most television programs. Leave Britney alone. I'll go out to college campuses and set up an encampment out there to leave Britney alone. Let her keep going.
NYPD was called today as pro-Palestine and pro-Israel factions combined forces to go after Eric Nagel, who was protesting Leave Britney alone.
Just me with a sign and throwing tear gas and everything around, fireworks
Bagels
at
and
myself.
Tear gas.
Yeah. Lucy Moody saying this is her at her peak.
I am never going to go against anybody that wants to start an OnlyFans. We know people who have done OnlyFans. Do your thing. You know how much money she could rake in with an OnlyFans account?
Yeah, but it's short term because she's a celebrity.
Yeah, but she would make.
She'll probably make a couple million when that launches. But then, like every other thing with people who do OnlyFans, they show up on all social media platforms. There's websites, there's message boards, there's all that shit where people are just leaking it anyway, and then you don't make any of the money anymore. It's a really shitty business. It's almost exactly like putting a movie out. You know, the way they leak OnlyFans stuff, it's the same way they do it with movies. It's just cut, paste the procedure and do it for this specific content instead of that specific content.
Or like a Patreon or something where, you get that one and done, make a ton of money, and then get out.
Yeah. Frankie Bronson in the chat saying, no happy and well-adjusted person acts this way.
I'm actually upset that this is the first time we've seen Frankie Bronson tonight. We have covered protesting, space stuff.
He missed all the good
stuff. This is his bread
and
and butter, and he's coming in with the Britney Spears stuff.
I know. I got to find Gabby's stuff here. She's living her teenage years as an adult with money. She just wasn't able to do all that when she was a teenager, and she's finally free. So it's sort of like Michael Jackson shit.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. She said, well, that's my perception at least.
It's
And
pretty
also,
spot on.
she's so traumatized, and maybe that's just her way to blow off steam. I don't know what she's traumatized about. What is she, like, I don't know enough about this stuff. I know that apparently she had an abortion, according to her book, and it was Timberlake's kid, allegedly. I don't know. And then there was just constant lawsuits about her parents that put her in a conservatorship, and then something about her sister was being a bitch too.
Yeah, her sisters.
Maybe we have to have Gabby on. She can do the full Britney breakdown for us.
We'll do the Britney hour.
Right.
I forgot she had a book. I should probably go and read that and see what she said in it.
Yeah, it's just her stuff's nuts. Anyway.
Yeah, she's
cuckoo.
She's a weird one.
All right, moving on. So yeah, I've been watching X-Men 97. I haven't really been watching anything else. I've been playing No Man's Sky when I'm not working. So that has been fun.
That has been taking up a lot of my time.
Out right now on video on demand, Arcadian, the Nick Cage movie. I don't know if I want to see that or not. What do you recommend?
I haven't seen it. The trailer looked fun. I know our friend Giddles went to go see that, I think, last week.
Oh, is this the one where they wouldn't turn the lights off?
He went to a theater and they wouldn't shut the lights off through the entire movie. He got about, I think, 45 minutes in and so finally said, fuck it, and then left and got tickets to go see something else.
There was only 2 people working the entire theater.
Well, there was only one person in the movie, so they probably forgot he was in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's out now on video on demand. That's only about 3 weeks old. I'm sure it's going to show up on Shudder. I think it's a Shudder original, kind of how like Late Night with the Devil was. So, even if it's on video on demand, it should probably show up on
Does Shudder have a thing where you can get a trial subscription?
Yeah, they always do.
All right. I might get it because I think I want to see that Late Night with the Devil.
I'll look for a code. I think I usually find codes that work. I'll send one your way.
Please do.
Get you like 6 weeks or like 3 months free or something.
Yeah, I would like to just try because I'm going to cancel right after I watch the movie. I just want to see the movie. And then also Love Lies Bleeding. What is that?
That's that Kristen Stewart movie that just
that bombed horribly.
Yeah, that didn't do too well. I heard it's good. It didn't do well.
Okay. Over on Peacock, Orlando Bloom to the Edge.
This is old. Sorry, I just forgot to take that off.
Oh, how dare you?
My bad. Doing a lot here.
You hit the delete key. There it goes. Okay. Are the rest current?
Yeah, everything else is current. I forgot to take Peacock off.
I mistakenly reported this wrong 2 weeks ago, but it is the case now. Welcome to Wrexham Season 3 is available on Hulu. The first 2 episodes, I believe, are available. It's also a weekly release. It's a really good show. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you do so. And what is Thank You, Good Night?
Thank You, Good Night. Oh my God, I just had this up. Hold on. So, this is Hulu. God damn it, I had it. Sorry, I just had it on here. Oh, that's the Bon Jovi documentary. I forgot to put Bon Jovi after it, so it would remind me. But yeah, that's the Bon Jovi, like the documentary about their history and stuff like that. So that's on
watching that either. So
/ Hulu Disney Plus, whatever it is.
I gotta watch that mini-series, docu-series, the one I think HBO put it out with, about the Foo Fighters.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I heard it's really good. That I'm actually interested in watching.
There was another one that came out too called Hip Hop in the White House. I think it's on Max. I'm not sure. I want to check it out. I'm afraid it's going to be too political. I mean, obviously it's going to be, but I kind of want to, I'm like in that, I want to see some of the older hip hop acts and things like that. So I'll find it and we'll see.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Over on Netflix, Unfrosted, the Jerry Seinfeld joint is
not getting
available.
Very good reviews right now.
Because it's a cornball thing.
It is.
And it's the first movie he decided to make at 70 years old.
Right.
Look, I like Jerry. I like his stand-up. I like a lot of his commentary on certain things. But like when he did B-Movie, do you remember that?
Oh, God, yeah.
It was not good. And I'll watch Unfrosted just to see. It sounds like...
It's on Netflix. Why not?
Here's the thing. Jerry loves advertising stuff. He loves advertising, the world of advertising. All his American Express card commercials he wrote in partnership with them. Like he was doing anytime he does a commercial, he has a hand in it. That's why he does them. Otherwise, he doesn't need money to do commercials, but he likes to do them. So he gets a creative process to be involved in making these commercials. This Unfrosted thing probably would have, remember, is Funny or Die still a thing?
I don't think. Well, I
but
think
you know
so.
What Funny or Die was, right?
Yeah, it's very.
This would have been good as a short, like 10-minute movie or something.
Tongue-in-cheek stuff.
Yeah, something like that. If this was a little mini movie like that, and then I'm like, oh, build enough attention. Oh, they should make a real Unfrosted movie, based on this clip that they did. That's where it should have went. It should have just been like a little YouTube feature.
Yeah, like I want to watch it. Like the premise sounds hilarious. Like, okay, it's the story of Pop-Tarts, but also done like the space race. Okay, on paper that sounds great. What I'm afraid is it's going to be he called in favors to get every possible comic in this just to do cameos, and it's just going to be a live action version of Family Guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, remember this? This is Tony the Tiger or this. You know, it's like, okay. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So that's available on Netflix right now. Over on Disney Plus, X-Men 97, brand new episode for you to check out. In theaters, this is the whole run that we talked about a while ago.
No, this particular one is the first episode to celebrate the anniversary. They're only doing the full run this Saturday.
Okay. So Star Wars Episode 1 is in there for the anniversary of the prequels. Is that what they were called? Right.
Yep.
But they're doing the full run of all 9 movies this weekend.
Yep. This Saturday, I believe.
Which chain is it? Regal?
I think it's Regal. I don't think it's going to be like everybody. So yeah, it was
okay.
It was just like a quick run. Well, quick. It's going to be fucking all day. And I'm obsessed with Star Wars. There's no chance I'm doing that.
No, just like the people, they're going to do the Lord of the Rings thing we talked about last week.
Right.
The 3 movies with the extended editions plus extra stuff. It's like that is just way too much to sit there and waste your time in a movie theater for. Also, The Fall Guy.
Which, have you seen how they're promoting this movie?
Yeah, there was a fight at the red carpet. There was Beavis and
Stunt
Butthead.
guys getting pulled through shit.
Yeah, there was Ryan Gosling and the guy from Saturday Night Live were on the carpet
The Beavis
for
and
Beavis and Butthead thing. Is Fall Guys supposed to be like the movie version of the old TV show, or is it just something else called Fall Guy?
I don't know. I've never looked into it. It just looks fun. Let me look up what the Fall Guy. I haven't seen the Fall Guy TV show.
All right, you look that up real quick. I'm going to jump ahead and then we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Also available, we've talked about for years on the show, Sea of Thieves. I've been playing that game forever. Not so much in the last couple of weeks because I've been playing No Man's Sky, but Season 12 just came out and it's available for everybody. PlayStation users now have access to Sea of Thieves. So I'm going to hop back on it this weekend to catch up, see the new season, new weapons, all the new storylines, everything that's going on there. Plus, it'll be fun having the PlayStation players on there because they're not going to fully know what to do, and you can easily take advantage
rip them up.
of that situation. What did you find
I just put it on my Steam Deck. It is based on the series with Lee Majors about the stuntman turned bounty hunter.
Okay. Then that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, so Sea of Thieves Season 12 available for you. Next week, the dreaded May 10th of Return of Doctor Who. We're going to see how bad this gets. I've already been, much to Rob's delight, not displeasure, but delight of arguing with Doctor Who fans online because they just seem to be ruining everything. All right, moving on. We didn't play the trailer, but we mentioned there's a new exorcism movie coming out called The Exorcism, cleverly titled, on June 7th, starring Russell Crowe. And I had asked, it's like, oh, is this something to do with the last exorcism movie he did called The Pope's Exorcist, which I watched, and it's not bad. It's not terrible, but it's not bad.
It's silly, but it's fun.
I rather enjoyed it. And then Jordan informs me, no, it has nothing to do with it. It's just him as another priest, or actually it's an actor who portrays a priest that winds up having to be involved with a real exorcism. Well, my question was, why didn't they, if they liked him as a priest doing an exorcism, why didn't they just make a second Pope's Exorcist? Make a little franchise out of it. It was unexpected. It seems to be working. Why not do that? They didn't do that until today. Jordan, what do you have?
Well, today, it's official. The Pope's Exorcist 2 is going to happen. The producer, Jeff Katz, announced the sequel was officially moving forward. And this is his quote, Amorth Nation. Amorth is the priest's last name. I just got the call. It's officially happening. It's a sequel, my friends. He wrote it in Italian. I'm not going to butcher Italian. Thank you for the amazing Pope's Exorcist fans. You made this happen. Gas up your Lambretta, which is the little scooter, and get ready to ride, Katz wrote. In the meantime, Crowe is now starring in another exorcism movie, The Exorcism, which is directed by Josh Miller. Also stars Stan Worthington, Ryan Simpkins, and David Hyde Pierce. The Exorcism release in theaters June 7th. Yeah, me too. And it has nothing to do with the other franchise. So he's basically in the exorcism business with different franchises, different characters.
Can you believe if they spawned The Exorcism 2? So now he's a priest doing exorcisms in two different franchises that don't connect to each other.
Not at all. Yeah. I'm excited for it.
That's never been heard of, and I would love to see that happen. We're going to go see the Russell Crowe exorcism movie. Which one? There's like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, they all
3 different
franchises. Are they all the
franchises.
same thing? No, there's 2 different storylines, 2 different franchises, but he's the same priest. It's like, does not make any sense. Good for him. All right, so that's happening. I want to talk about, I guess, the big news for today before we get into all the other updates of whatnot. Sony making a cash offer to buy Paramount.
I was going to say, I noticed that when we were talking segment 1 that it just kind of broke.
So Sony has officially made a $26 billion all cash offer for
Just
Paramount.
Briefcases. It's money in the bank.
All cash means it's not like installments over time,
or stock options,
percentages off of look, Sony's all encompassing, so it could be television sales, camera sales. What else is Sony involved in? I think they do microchip stuff or something along those lines. A lot of electronics people know Sony from. PlayStation, obviously. They also produce a lot of television, for decades, music. So it's not like percentages of all these different divisions will go towards paying for this thing. $26 billion all cash. Most governments don't have $26 billion all cash to pay off for something. And this corporation does. They've been around forever, and good for them. It also shows that my theory might be getting closer to being correct, that there's only going to be 2, maybe 3 entertainment companies in existence going forward. We know Disney's one of them. Disney isn't going anywhere. Who's the second and maybe the third? I'm thinking Universal and Sony, and now Sony's taking the steps to making that happen.
Well, you got Warner Brothers, but I think Warner Brothers might get absorbed to
Warner
something
Brothers
else
will be bought
at some
out.
point.
Discovery will be dissolved because no one gives a shit about anything to do with Discovery anymore. And Warner Brothers will be absorbed. Probably, I think Warner Brothers will go, if Sony doesn't bring them in, I think it goes to Universal. I think Universal takes it over. But Disney, Sony, Universal, I think are going to be the 3 remaining entities for entertainment.
Now I'm wondering if at this point your prediction of Disney buying out the rest of the Marvel series stuff from Sony could get better on the table now that they are going to sink all this money into Paramount.
Yeah.
Do they bring in, say, okay, let's sell this off and recoup some of that, since everything we're touching turns to shit anyway?
It can change from my original theories was somehow Disney was going to get control of DC away from Warner Brothers.
Right.
And then use that as leverage to Sony and go, here, we'll give you this entire pre-established universe just to get our Marvel property back, the rest of the Spider-Man stuff. It's worth that much to Disney to have everything unified for Marvel so they can go forward with no hindrance, no problems, to give them DC and let them do what they want with it. Now, that could still be a thing. Who knows? But like you said here with this new information, Disney could go, hey, that's a lot of money you're dumping into this thing here. We're willing to up the ante to help you out with that if you just give us all the Spider-Man stuff back. You can still do the video game stuff. You get PlayStation exclusivity, all of that shit. We'll give you that. But we need the film rights and everything else that they have, TV rights, back from you. That might be on the table. That's a good call. We'll see how that all works out.
Right.
But anyway, an offer comes as exclusive negotiating window between Skydance and entertainment. The entertainment giant is about to expire. That's insane.
Yeah.
$23 billion in cash. That's not even liquid. That's not like what my value is worth based on my investments in my company. It's we have the money. Yeah, there's just going to be
stacks of ones.
All these Asian men in black suits and sunglasses opening up suitcases like it's Deal or No Deal and putting it right in front of the Paramount people. Let me see if there's anything else that goes in with this here. Paramount investors have clamored for the board to engage with Apollo and Sony rather than take the Skydance deal because all common shareholders would get a premium for their shares. So it might be a smarter business deal from this, whatever this Skydance thing is, but it makes more sense if the board goes, we're going to make all this other shit from Sony, and Sony, again, not going anywhere. So anything you like about Paramount will be preserved. It'll be there. That is just
because
so much
Sony
money.
instantly inherits the streaming service, so they don't have to build a new streaming service. Maybe they can improve it. Their interface on Paramount sucks. I like the content. It's just hard to get to anything. So they instantly get that. You know, they get Star Trek franchise. They get, you know, the Transformer franchise. I mean, they instantly pick up a lot of heavy hitters that they could really do something with.
Right.
So,
and then that's, you're dealing with Viacom at the time now for the deal. If that Skydance thing is about to expire, once that's clear, then they can just talk to who's Redstone's. Sumner Redstone's not still running it. His daughter, I think, runs it now. They talk to them at the head of Viacom, which means Viacom and CBS sell off Paramount. What does CBS do? Maybe they license for streaming. I don't know if it matters. I don't know. Some of the CBS properties seem to be doing gangbusters on Netflix. That Young Sheldon is one of the top shows for Netflix.
There.
it's on Paramount because CBS has it, and it's also on Hulu. So if you're not doing like NBC Universal does, where all our NBC stuff or produced stuff is exclusively on Peacock, they're licensing out to the other things, then it must not matter that they have Paramount anymore. Whatever. Too much money being thrown around and not any of it coming in our direction. And that's where I have a big problem with this. All right, moving on. You talked about Knuckles being a big hit. It's setting streaming records on Paramount. It came out on April 26th, expanding the cinematic world of Sonic the Stop with the cinematic worlds of Sonic the Hedgehog and setting streaming records. It was streamed more than 4 million hours.
Mm-hmm.
Its premiere weekend. So 4 million hours
this past
on
weekend.
the weekend.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't played Sonic. I've seen it. I know enough of it. I don't know I know there's a squirrel with 2 tails. And
tails.
That's about it. Yeah. Okay. There you go. And
yeah.
I don't know really. I haven't seen the movies. I don't know any of this shit, but I know it's very beloved.
Oh yeah.
And it's great to see that. All right. Somebody didn't fuck up another property. That's always good.
They almost did. Like when that first movie was going to come out, they showed the trailer for it and they really Sonic looked horrifying. And the internet, this is the one time the internet's collective bitching finally did something right. And they were like, no, we don't want this. And they're like, our bad, we'll fix it. And they did. And the first movie was quite enjoyable.
Because wasn't it that they we're trying to make him realistic. Like this is what a real hedgehog would look like.
We don't want that.
Yeah, they don't want
horrifying.
That. Yeah. Yeah, he had really mangled mouth and teeth and yeah.
They even made a joke about it where they had the original Sonic design in the Chippendales movie that came out for Disney 2 years ago.
I forgot to watch that. The Rescue Ranger? No, not the Rescue Ranger.
Yeah, it was Chippendales Rescue Ranger movie.
Yeah. I need to watch that. I've heard it's really good.
There's a lot of adult
Send me a reminder,
humor.
please, if you could.
All right.
I'll go and watch that. All right, moving on. We talked about Quiet on the Set, the docuseries that was exposing the alleged abuse of young people working at Nickelodeon.
I gotta say alleged now.
Nickelodeon shows. They still putting out other episodes. There's an episode 5, and I think
one just came out.
6. Yeah, I was gonna say a 6th one is in the works, or I guess it's out now. Well, Dan Snyder did one interview where he was on some podcast and he was saying I don't know where all this is coming from. I've been nothing but wasn't raging and everything. He was very sullen about it, the way he said it. I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying that's how he was portraying himself. Well, now apparently he's suing the producers of the docuseries. Didn't say anything publicly, which might be a smart move because a lot of people love to telegraph their moves before they do it.
Right. And
it's we're going to sue and we're going to they'll get all violent for defamation, all this other shit and whatever. He didn't do that. He just went, I guess, to his lawyers and filed in court. And then all of a sudden they found out they were being sued. Nothing public about it. Again, not defending the guy. I just think you never see that when it comes to these things. Everybody always has to publicly telegraph what the moves are happening. He didn't do that. So it was interesting to see that happen. So yeah, he's suing the producers of Quiet on the Set, claiming they defamed him by falsely portraying him as a child sexual abuser while working at Nickelodeon and ruining his reputation. The famed TV producer just filed a defamation lawsuit, which was obtained by TMZ, slamming the docuseries and its creators, including Warner Brothers Discovery, Maxine Productions, Sony Pictures Television, and others for falsely implying he sexually abused the child actors who worked on his shows back in the day. He tells TMZ, recently the docuseries highlighted mistakes I made and poor judgment I exhibited during my time at Nickelodeon, most of which happened decades ago during my early career as a producer, working on shows for Talon Robbins Productions. There is no doubt that I was sometimes a bad leader. I'm sincerely apologetic and regretful for that behavior, and I will continue to take accountability for it. Still, he says he had no choice but to take legal action, stating that the docuseries is attempting to mislead viewers for ratings. So that'll be interesting to see if that even gets processed, if it gets thrown out. Who knows?
Well, and it's kind of telling that this came out, went viral, went crazy. Everyone on TikTok was talking about it. Everyone's talking about how terrible these people were treated and things like that. And now you're starting to see things like, okay, well, now this guy's suing. Mark Summers had come out saying, well, they bait and switched my involvement in it. And so it's starting to seem like maybe their angle and this production company kind of went about things in a little more shady than I think we all originally thought.
Mm-hmm.
And it may turn out that Dan is going to get something from them if they can't, because
some sort of settlement.
You know, yeah, because you can't. How are you going to prove this kind of stuff? You can't.
But also, how are you going to clear your name of it too?
This is going to follow him till he dies.
No, I understand that, but the attempt at this lawsuit is he's saying they're discrediting and defaming me, they're ruining my reputation. Even if you got a settlement, even if it went to court and you were found, you know, completely in the right and whatever, you're still scarlet.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna. Yeah, there's nothing that's gonna fix this. The only thing he can get out of it is some cash.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Which Sony's trying to spend on Paramount, so they'll get nothing from him.
We're out of money.
We spent our money on Paramount. Sorry.
We just bought Young Sheldon. I don't know what to tell you. And stay away from Young Sheldon. That's why we're canceling it, so you can't get on board with it.
Yeah, he's old Sheldon. You don't want him anymore.
Moving on. Cobra Kai. It's been all over the news today that Cobra Kai's final season is being split up into 3 5-episode chunks. It's 15 episodes for this final season. It's going to premiere on July 18th on Netflix. And the second set of episodes is premiering November
28th.
And the last set of 5 episodes is, see, this
2025
to do. Well, maybe it does. They do it on the 28th, so then you got people there for Thanksgiving and Christmas viewing when they're off, so they'll catch up on that. And then probably they'll try to ride that hype train around that time, release them in January.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably February, March, because like July to November, that's a big gap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, you're going to, unless they decide to do it weekly, which they have not been known to do, they're going to drop 5 episodes on you. Everyone's going to talk about it. And by the second week, they'll forget.
Right.
And then November will hit, you get that Christmas time. Yeah, that might happen again. And I'm thinking probably February or March. You know, they're going to gap it a little bit. But yeah, it's weird that they're going to do this. I know they decided they're going to end the series. And I think this is them trying to stretch out the hype a little bit more artificially than just saying, here's 15 episodes. We had a good run.
Well, I'm going to watch it because I've watched it all the way through now. I don't know what else they have left to do. They've pulled every stop
It's
out
another
of all
fight in the
movies.
I don't know.
Unless, you know, Will Smith's kid shows up, you know, for some reason, or Hilary Swank. Wasn't she?
Oh my God! Can you imagine Hilary Swank showing up?
Yeah, they bring all that in there, and they're like, "Who's the scarecrow? Who's the young Jane Lynch here that's trying to beat up a bunch of high school students?" All right, moving on. TikTok has been in the news a lot lately because essentially they're going to be banned from the United States within the next 9 months if they don't sell the company or if the government agrees to back off a little bit. But as of right now, they are not. An ongoing issue had been that they removed so much music off of TikTok because Universal Music Group was having a big problem with the percentage of the royalties that were being paid for their catalog and their artists. And Universal Music Group's not giving a shit what the artists are getting. They're worried about what they're getting overall. And then they'll to figure out what the artists are getting out of all of this shit. So they took a lot of their music off. So if you had videos that used that music, not built in, but even, you know, if you're not familiar with how TikTok works, you could put a video up and then it says, hey, would you like to layer over a piece of audio or under, if you will, for your video? So you'd watch the video and they mute everything because you're not allowed to play the songs that you picked anymore. Well, apparently that's all been done because they've inked a multi-dimensional deal with TikTok that will see its roster of artists, which include the likes of Taylor Swift, Drake, Olivia Rodrigo, return to social media platforms, 1 billion plus users. Universal Music Group began pulling its music down from TikTok on February 1st after the old contract expired. Notably, the deal will address concerns that UMG and its artists have with generative AI. I didn't know that was an issue too.
I didn't realize it was an issue either until I read this.
TikTok and UMG will work together to ensure AI development across the music industry will protect human artistry and the economics that flow to those artists and songwriters. So I guess people were, using AI to generate new Taylor Swift songs with her voice, but she didn't write or sing them or something?
I know that was a big thing with Drake. I think someone had created a completely AI generated Drake song, and people were like, wow, that actually sounds really good. And it wasn't him. So
just like when they did the AI generated 1 hour Carlin special, George Carlin special.
I heard some of that. That was both creepy and kind of made me sad that we don't have George Carlin anymore.
Right. So that thing got taken down all over the place. I'm sure it's available somewhere, but yeah, Carlin's estate went after them and won and got that whole thing taken down and sorted out. So, all right. So you can play certain artists back again on TikTok. What else do we have here? The Connors, if anyone cares about that, I don't know who does. Since
I've never seen one season of it.
We'll celebrate its 100th episode and has been renewed for a 7th and final season. However, according to Deadline, season 7 will wrap things up with only 6 episodes. So
yeah, so they're just going to wrap up their storylines and then
get
pack
it out
up
of here and be done. New Simpsons short to debut on May 10th, which is Star Wars Day. Simpsons have been doing a lot of Star Wars related. I should ask Mike if he had a chance, if he's working on that or not, or had worked on that or not. By the way, where did you put the plug for Mike's stuff?
All the way at the top of page 1.
At the top of page 1. Okay. There it is. So my pal Mike, we had him on the show. He's an animator for The Simpsons. He's currently doing a little stint right now where he's raising money for St. Jude's children's charities. And it's not a commission, but he's made available that you can get some artwork done through his services for a donation to St. Jude's. So some of the things he'll sketch, one of the things here, there's about 10 slots left at $25. He'll sketch your favorite Simpsons character. He does it digitally only. So he has like his computer stuff. He draws it there. Of your favorite Simpsons character, he'll draw it for you. He also this one went fast. There's 3 left.
I was going to say there was 7 yesterday, 3.
Yeah, so it's been dropping really fast. It's down to 3 for $60. He'll doodle you. You send him a photo of you. He'll make you as a Simpsons character, an official Simpsons character. Again, digital delivery of you on The Simpsons. And he's down to 2 left at this, and they were $150 each for this slot here. A personalized Simpsons sketch mailed to you. It's available for U.S. citizens only. A personalized Simpsons sketch will be mailed to you. You need to provide all the details are on the website there involving what it is, but he'll draw the thing. He'll have it made into official art or something and then mail it to you. So if you're looking for any of that stuff, please go over to just Google 2024 St. Jude's Charity. It's on a website called Tiltify, Tiltify. And if you look for this St. Jude's Charity for 2024, you'll see it on the list of rewards that you can donate for and get things. Mike's stuff is there. So please help him out. Help St. Jude's out. That would be really good. So Star Wars is Simpsons short will debut on May 10th. For this year's annual Star Wars Day and Mother's Day, Disney Plus will be releasing a brand new Simpsons short film titled May the 12th Be With You, featuring Marge Simpson. It's scheduled to start streaming on Friday, May 10th. May the 12th Be With You will be the first time that Maggie Simpson won't be leading one of the longtime animated show stars, Star Wars themed short films. They've won Emmys for the previous ones.
Yeah.
So look for that. If you're fans of Super Mario Brothers, and I don't know who isn't at this point, they're finally opening up Super Mario World or Super Nintendo World at Universal in Orlando. And that will be opening in 2025. So next year you can go down there and see all the Mushroom Kingdom and all that Nintendo goodness at Universal in Orlando.
Looks really cool too.
It does. If you enjoy the Masters of the Universe series that's on Netflix, is now moving to...
Nope.
Wait, I got that. I just realized I got that wrong. So Masters of the Universe was a live action show that they were trying to do for Netflix.
They were trying to do a movie. Like they've been trying to do a movie, I think, since like 2007.
Is it the same company that was overseeing the animated thing?
Nope.
Okay, so it was it was
completely separate
Masters
project.
of the Universe, but not. All right, I had it completely wrong. So Masters of the Universe, the live action movie, was supposed to go to Netflix.
Right.
And now it's moving over to Amazon.
Yep.
And it's going to also go into the theaters in 2026.
Yes.
All right.
Netflix sank about $30 million into doing this, and they have been writing a script since 2007 and doing pre-production and stuff like that, and just never got any traction. So then, Amazon, MGM Studios, and Mattel Films are going to bring that reboot to theaters in 2026 on June 5th, and then most likely go to that streaming service not long after.
All right. Well, it can't be worse than the He-Man movie that came out in the 80s.
I love that terrible movie.
Just think about how like when you in the 80s a lot of those cartoons were tied into selling toys. But most of them had a comic book background most of them. Mm-hmm. Voltron didn't. Voltron was just a Japanese show that they recreated for American audiences. It was called Go Line. It was much more violent and brutal. He-Man had a comic book base. G.I. Joe, obviously.
Transformers.
That's where I was going with this. You watched Transformers for 2 seasons at home after school. You had the toys. You had all that, the TV show. You loved it. Then the movie was coming out. You're like, oh, fantastic, the movie. And in the movie, they kill off almost all of them.
Yep, got to kill them all.
And bring in new versions or new characters, all this stuff. It was resetting the series in the movie so that the next fall, when the show started up again, it's all new characters because they needed to regenerate the toy line. That's the only reason they did it. So then you had 2 more seasons of new characters, and then it got canceled because I guess it just nobody gave a shit about Transformers anymore. He-Man, sort of the same thing where they needed to generate more life into the series after 2-3 years. Now you've got Masters of the Universe movie coming to theaters starring Dolph Lundgren. And then you're seeing in the trailer a guy, this is supposed to be Skeletor. Okay. And then there's the little elf thing. And you're like, what's going on here? This looks nothing.
Who the fuck is Gwildor?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with you go to see the movie. It's pretty violent for a kid's movie. And it doesn't pertain to the television show.
No. Takes place on Earth.
Yeah. So
Gwildor is a completely new character. They had a guy on with Skeletor that had whips.
Yeah.
Like, who's that guy? You know, Courtney Cox is in it. I remember seeing that movie in the drive-in theater with a double feature with Dragnet. And I'm like, that's 2 different movies. Like, that shouldn't have been a double feature, but yeah, that's when I saw that.
Yeah, so you see the movie. It has nothing to do with the TV show. It doesn't reinvigorate the cartoon show at all.
No.
You know, the only thing that reinvigorated for a little bit was the She-Ra spinoff. Mm-hmm. And then they tied it back into He-Man. So they had the crossover Christmas episode, and then they had episodes where like special episodes where they'd cross over. And then all that died out because they didn't want to make the toys anymore. So they just kill off the series, and they didn't write it as a continuing series with story. It was just whatever they threw to the wall and made a toy out of it. That's all that mattered. Now you're going to put out a new He-Man movie. It's if you saw the animated series that's on Netflix, it's pretty damn good.
It's really good.
So if it's based off where the animated series was going and has the continuity or that kind of thing, it'll be fine. But
I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be 2 separate entities. Because when Kevin Smith's version came out, another cartoon version came out at the same time on Netflix, and it was 2 competing He-Man cartoons. Now you're going to throw a movie in. They've diluted it a little bit. I'll watch it, but I don't know. I don't think they know what they're doing. Kevin Smith's one's great. Like, I love that one.
I'm trying to find this clip to end the show with because we haven't been angry enough today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think
finally ended on a high note.
I think we've gotten everything covered for season 2, segment 2.
Oh yeah.
So they're bringing back Hollywood Squares for like the 4th time now.
Oh my God.
And the center square of Hollywood Squares has always been very crucial to the success of the game show. the original run, it was Paul Lynde. And you can go, I do too. And you can go back and watch clips of Paul Lynde, and you can see that he made the show. Like it's 9 squares. It was always rotating celebrities, but the center square usually was the fixture, and it was always the same person to have some sort of familiarity to it. So it wasn't just a disposable game show episode like every other game show is. So he made or break was making or breaking the show, Paul Lynde. Then they bring it back in the 80s. And in the 80s was Joan Rivers. She was the center square, and she was the one that everybody came back. She had the best lines, the best quips, was insulting people. If you know Joan Rivers comedy, you know that's who she is. So that's why you were watching it, and it was fun. Then in the 90s, they brought Gilbert Gottfried. It was supposed to be Whoopi Goldberg's show. Like she was producing and stuff. She was going to be the new Joan. And nobody gave a fuck about Whoopi Goldberg on the show. They quickly moved her out, and Gilbert Gottfried became the focal point of that particular run. And I think Penn and Teller were regulars on there too. They were on a lot of episodes, but it was mostly Gilbert Gottfried. A lot of the clips from Hollywood Squares are all Gilbert Gottfried's jokes and insults and ad-libs and what have you. This time around, and it just shows you how terrible television production and writing and thinking is nowadays.
Well, this casting honestly doesn't understand the structure of what made Hollywood Squares work.
It's just so maddening. They're making Drew Barrymore
the center
square of this.
Like, she's not quippy. She's not quick on her feet. She's not gonna do any hard hitting to the line kind of comedy. She's just Drew Barrymore.
She's an idiot.
Yeah.
And I've tried to give her the benefit of the doubt for so many years because she seems like a sweet person. She just seemed a bit dippy. And, you know, she saw in a bit how do you put it? Oblivious to a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, nothing more so than when the strikes were happening. And she's like, yeah, we'll still do the show.
And she thought she was doing the right thing. It's like, I'm going to keep the show, because then if we don't keep the show going, they have no show to come back to. And they're like, no, that's right. And then she went online crying, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that's stupid. And I mean, she didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing. But it's like, I'm so stupid, I'm an idiot, that I thought this would be a good idea. And that's not the case. She's had other things too, where there's been clips of, I think, what was the one with Tom Green, her ex-husband? Like, he went on there.
Oh, that's right.
And she was trying to treat it like a therapy group. And he's like, no, I'm done with you. Like, I'm kind of moved on.
Like, I've moved past this, like, billions
he talked
of years
about
ago.
how devastated and everything it was because of her. It wasn't his idea to get divorced and all that. She pulled all this dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's been other instances too where she has said stupid shit on her show, and it's gotten clipped and put all over the place, where they're just like, can you believe how deprived of oxygen this person must be for some of the comments and things that she said. She just had Kamala Harris on her show.
Oh, I saw some clips of that one.
Did you see this thing here?
I saw a few clips, yeah.
I'm trying to find it now as I'm looking through it, because I thought I had the clip and I don't. But you want to talk about pandering. She is sitting so close to the vice president. It makes no sense. Like, even if they were not on television, you're a bit too close.
Yeah. Give me some space.
Like, you need to move back a little bit. And she was trying to go for this line that she thought was going to be so poignant. Like, this was going to be the line that gets all the headlines. It got the headlines, but for the wrong reason. Like, she thought it's like, this is going to be a clever quip, and it's going to be so poignant, and people are going to really think I'm a deep person who's thinking about politics and policy and the human beings. I'm trying to see if this is the clip. We're going to bring it up here and see. But she says something so incredibly stupid that I just was screaming at the television when I saw this. And I go, you can't be this dumb. And then realizing, yes, she can be that dumb.
She can.
And she that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. Yeah. But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
That's so gross. Yeah, we don't need her to do that.
The whole thing was just like, because times are tough and we're so broken as people and, we need a hug and you need to be our mom. It's like, you're retarded. You are just an infant.
Like she's all sitting outside at just getting in her face. Like you got like a sniper in the rafters ready to just take her out.
She's close to her. She's like a face away from her face. And she just goes, we need you to be Mamala of the country. No, we don't.
No. You know what we don't need? Moms or dads. We got them.
We don't need government involvement in a lot of our daily lives. We don't need to be parented on some of this shit.
So stupid.
What is going on?
That's the dumbest line I've ever heard.
She's 50-something, right?
Yeah.
She's got to be like in her early 50s, and she's acting like this?
She might be in her late 40s.
That sounds like some dumb shit that people on TikTok would say. Like mother is mothering. That what is that nonsense shit? Oh, she's acting. She's showing the actions of what a mother should be. No, stop with that bullshit. And it's like, you need to be our late 40s.
She's not even 50 yet.
She thought that was going to trend. That was going to be all over. It was going to be stuff people were saying. It might be part of the campaign going into November.
Be a hashtag.
Mamala. Yeah, this was going to be a thing. No, it just made you look even more pathetic and pointless. And she's got a show on CBS. She's like the Regis and Kelly. Well, Regis is long dated now. Who is she with? Not Ryan Seacrest. Oh, her husband, Mark Consuela.
I was going to say Consuelos and Kelly. Yeah, Mark.
It's which is, you never hear about that show anymore. And apparently
I completely forgot it was on.
But you get what I'm saying, like a Regis and Kelly kind of thing. She's that equivalent on after whatever, is it CBS CBS This Morning is the Sunday program. Or maybe it is their thing. Whatever CBS's Today show is, right? When that's done, then they have a show that comes on after that, and that's Drew. So she's got some prime time placement after their big morning show run to go right into her show for the midday stuff. And this is the crap that they're paying for. You need to be our Mamala. I don't even care about the political stuff. Just saying that, even if say Kamala Harris was conservative and you said that, you're still like, ew. What is wrong with you? No. Somebody should have walked over with a rolled up newspaper and just batted her on the big giant forehead she has. Go, no, what are you doing? Stop. Act like a person.
That was terrible.
It was terrible, Mamala.
Now I know how Rob felt reading in the no bagel clause. I'm just mad now.
Let's just go and huck bagels at Drew Barrymore. Her studio's on West 57th. Let's just hang out there and wait till she walks by. And just throw bagels at her. Not like at her like that, but huck them like a Frisbee. A little bit of the wrist action. We need to get out of here. We've been on here too long. Jordan, we are going to do the plugs. As always, our nation's eyes, they turn to you.
You can check me out on I'll Watch Later podcast, my other show where we talk movies. We go over things that we should have watched probably a long time ago, and just our daily lives. We go to a lot of concerts, so you'll hit a lot of that stuff coming up. Check us out on Instagram at Watch Later Pod. My personal Instagram is Jinxed Ronan, and come listen on all the streaming services.
All right. For me and this show, it's Eric Nagel across the board on all the... There it is, right there on the screen. It's Eric Nagel across the board on all the social media platforms. If you're listening to us on demand through iHeart, Apple, Spotify, any of those things, do us a kindness. Go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out our program. And if you want to join us live each and every week, as we do said program, hop into our live rooms over on Twitch and on YouTube. all under It's Eric Nagel. Hit your like, subscribe, notifications, all that stuff. It's free. It's easy. You can set it, and then it'll just remind you that, oh yeah, that show that I don't really watch is on anyway. So maybe
set it and forget it.
Yeah, if I don't have enough going on tonight, maybe I'll hop over there and check it out. That's it. Yep, that's it. We're done.
That's all.
Till the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Eric Nagel.
Well, I feel like I'm your daddy. I am all y'all's daddy.
Not my daddy.
You're not my daddy.
Not my daddy.
Hush, now I'm your daddy.
You ain't my daddy, boy.
Yes, I am.
You
are not our daddy. I am your daddy.
Not a daddy.
You ain't my daddy.
Hush! I said I'm your daddy.
You ain't my daddy. Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.